What's going on, Lions fans? Welcome to the Pride of Detroit PODcast, your home for all of your greatest Detroit Lions news, updates, analysis, and so much more. We are here on a not so great Victory Monday, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I actually am somewhat excited to talk about this game because I think we all need a little bit of therapy. I know there's a number of fans out there that probably need some copium, a little bit of rationalization to kind of just come down from the Lions suffering their fourth loss of the season, but we are going to do just that thing. First and foremost, I'm your host, Meko. You can find me over at Twitter at the Meko Scott. We are joined by a special guest filling in for Ryan Matthews this week. It's the other half of Before the Roar, as well as my go-to YouTube partner, Morgan Cannon's with us this week. Morgan, how you feeling, my guy?
Slightly less grumpy than I was at like 6:30 when I had to get up for work. So progress is progress, right, Miko?
I think that's all we can ask for at this point. You're going through a little bit of progress. The Lions are going to go through some progress hopefully this week. We also get the Giants, so there's a lot to kind of look forward to. In addition to Morgan, we also have your editor-in-chief over at prideofdetroit.com. Jeremy Reisman's here with us at Detroit Online over on Twitter. Jeremy, I know you weren't feeling the greatest last night either, but how are you feeling as of right now?
I'm doing okay. I'm trying. To be clear, none of us are licensed professional, therapists at this point. But I was telling you guys this before we went live. People call me the wet blanket during the off season because everyone's kind of got these high hopes. Everyone thinks everything's going to be bright and peachy. I try to pull people down to the middle, and now that people are down, I'm going to try to pull them up to the middle and try to provide a little bit of, I don't know, bigger picture stuff going on and not to lose hope on a season for a 6-4 team that still has a lot of good things going on.
I agree. And while none of us are licensed therapists, Morgan and I are at least dads, and we can at least tell you to suck it up. And that's the go-to thing that a dad will tell you is suck it up. It's not that bad.
It's gonna be
Um,
all right, man. That I said warm blanket before we got on. I don't know why it didn't dawn on me. Heated blanket. Jeremy's a heated blanket
There you go.
during the regular season, especially when, like you said, bro, I will get into it because there were times I just remember we've gotten really uppity as a fan base, I want to say. Because
th-
there was a time, I don't know, 2005, for instance, if you'd ask 15-year-old Morgan, be like, how would you feel about 6-4, prior to Thanksgiving? I'd be like, sign me up, brother, right now.
I agree. I think there's a number of things that we can definitely do in this podcast to kind of help reset fans. But I mean, we're also not going to ignore the obvious, right? Which is the fact that the Lions just didn't play their best game. They drop a really highly contested game to the Philadelphia Eagles last night, losing 16-9. And again, falling to 6-4 on the season. We saw this offense probably put together their worst performance of the season. Jared Goff easily had his worst game of the season, going 14 for 37 with a 37.8% completion rate, which is crazy because going into this game, he was leading the league in completion percentage. And this just didn't look good, when you're talking about an offense that the week before we were talking about how explosive they looked, Jeremy, with Dan Campbell kind of taking over the reins. What was the thing that really stood out to you when looking at this offense that really kind of just okay, this is not going the way that you thought it would?
Yeah, I mean, I think the easiest thing to say is probably the offensive line. That the Lions couldn't get the run game going yet again. They couldn't get protection going late in the game. But I don't know, it was such a weird game offensively because they had these big explosive plays too, right? Which is something that teams weren't doing to the Eagles defense. I put it in our Pride of Detroit Direct newsletter. They'd only given up, I think, 11 passing plays of 30 plus yards on the season, and the Lions hit on 4 in this game. And so they had these explosive plays. They had these opportunities. They got into the Eagles side of the field 6 times in this game. It's just, and I don't even feel like the offensive line was that bad in protection for the entire game, but it was bad in the the important moments, right? You talk about the third down. You talk about the fourth downs. In those moments when the Lions absolutely needed good execution, they didn't get it. And that's what made the night so frustrating for me because they gained more yards per play than the Eagles did. They gained more overall yards than the Eagles did. It felt like they had more scoring opportunities than the Eagles did. It's just on those critical plays, they weren't good. Jared Goff was not good. The offensive line wasn't good. And that pretty much goes for everyone on that offensive line. Maybe save Taylor Decker. And that just led to an extremely frustrating night as a viewer. And given that some of these things are recurring issues, yeah, there's some long-term concern there. But at the same time, when you have that many opportunities, when you have a fourth down offense that goes into the game with a top 5 conversion rate and then goes 0 for 5, you're like, well, that's not going to happen again. They're going to be fine in those opportunities. And if they convert on one, like, I feel like if they convert on one, they probably tie the game. If they convert on two, they might win it. And so it, it was frustrating to watch. There are bigger picture issues here that we're going to talk about, but at the same time, it's just like, God, it still felt like they were really close. It still felt like they were very close in that game.
Yeah, I want to oh, go ahead, Miko.
Oh no, I was gonna kick it over to you anyway, Morgan. But I was gonna say, like, I fully agree with that in this, especially in the sense that, like, it did feel like they were just a couple of fourth or third down conversions away from really blowing that game open. So Morgan, to you, like, what stood out to you really from this game, or anything that you probably want to piggyback off of what Jeremy said?
So there were some similarities, right? Like to some of these other frustrating offensive output games we've seen of this year's iteration of the Lions. And I understand that for sure. But this game wasn't, to me, having watched it the one time, I'm going to watch it again tonight on the All 22. It didn't feel like a game where the Lions were perpetually way behind the sticks, where it was like third and
Right.
14 or third and 13 or just at least 3rd and 10 over and over again. But they were just so uncharacteristically bad in the gotta have it downs, like you just talked about, Jeremy, like the 3rd and 4th. And most of them were like 3rd and 4th and short.
Yeah.
And they just, one person doesn't, like, I hate to go to Johnny Morton, but a couple weeks ago, and he's like, it's just one person there. I think Dan said it too. One person here, one person there. And offensively, that's all it takes to sink the ship if only 10 out of 11 are doing their job. And to Jeremy's point too, when it was the pressure, he was kept clean a couple times, right? Like when he delivered some of those strikes to Jamison, when he, some of the screens they set up to Jameer, but too often, like on those gotta have it downs, like Panay, like we knew it was going to be a rough night. Panay kind of overset the one pressure that they talked about on the broadcast. Chris Collinsworth is drunk because that wasn't, he didn't know what he's talking about. But the one where he kind of overset and missed his punch, and Phillips just beat him quick. And that was the one where people are saying Goff missed Brock Wright, that play, right? So, yeah, it was just a conglomerate of errors. But to me, what do y'all think? It felt different to me than, I'm trying to think of like a game, like the Vikings game.
Yeah, the Vikings game was like, they didn't have anything going on offense all game until like very, very late. The one difference that's kind of in the negative between those two games is it felt like that offensive line got schemed out against the Vikings. Against this game, I don't think they were out schemed. I think they just got beat up a little bit. But at the same time, you're right. Like, the offense was in it. The offense was not going 3 and out over and over and over again. They were moving the ball here and there with explosive play there, maybe not enough in between, but it felt better. It felt like a better overall offensive effort. It was just a little bit more disheartening seeing the offensive line, like, actually, like what Johnny Morton said in that Minnesota game, which I didn't agree with, which was like, we just weren't winning on the front. That's what I felt like happened last night. It felt like the offensive line was not winning as much as they should.
Yeah, and I think that's where the first, I think, like, narrative that I kind of want to, like, deconstruct that comes out of that game, because I think if you just watch that game and if you're taking what was said during the broadcast as gospel, like, Jeremy, you and I were kind of talking about it a little bit before we jumped on here, but, like, the Eagles defense is great. Like, I love their front four, right? If you could transplant some of those players onto the Lions, I'd be a happy camper. But with that said, like, they were setting this up as if this was just like an out of this world performance by this defensive line. And I don't think that was really the case. I do think there were a number of situations where, to your guys' credit, whether it's a player on the offensive line that just was missing a block, where communication wasn't the cleanest, or just in other situations where Jared Goff was just missing.
Yeah.
And I think that if you go strictly based off the broadcast, you'll just think like, oh no, they just got dominated by this really good defense. And that's not the case. Like, even when you look at some of the next gen stats, Jared Goff still had 2.66 seconds to throw. That's only 0. I think like 6 seconds less than like his average throughout the regular season. So it's not like he was being pressured so much that he had zero time. This was about what he's been getting all season. he was missing on a number of throws that were just very uncharacteristic. Either the throw were too low, they were behind, or things of that nature. And Jeremy, I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier. I do think some of this was also a byproduct of just poorly timed pressure. And those were the plays where they just weren't connecting and they weren't able to get into any semblance of a rhythm, which is something that we know that this offense kind of needs to be able to function at a high rate.
Yeah. I'm going to take this stat from our good friend Brett Whitefield, who runs Fantasy Points. They have their own data set, so this might look different than some numbers you might find on NFL Pro or anything else. But he said Jared Goff was under pressure on 12 of 39 dropbacks. So less than a third, 30%. And that's actually lower than what the Lions have been surrendering all season, which is about 33, 34%. So Goff doesn't have as much excuses as I think maybe the broadcast was leading on to believe. Now, listen, like, we can't just say, well, the Eagles were good and you know the Lions were uncharacteristic. You know, there are some systemic issues here, right? That interior offensive line was overwhelmed. The run game has not been good this year. Like I think we can just like outright say it. Like the running game is nowhere near where the standard has been set for this offense, and that trickles down, right? That trickles down to the pass game. That trickles down to, you know, your third down poor conversion rate, which is still, like, that baffles me, man. Like, the fact that the Lions are 27th in conversion rate on third down this season, it doesn't make sense to me, because even as bad as the run game has been, they're still like top 10 in first and second down yardage rates. They're facing third and shorts more than 20 other teams. And so the fact that their conversion rate is so low is extremely frustrating to me. Maybe that's a play calling thing. Maybe that's just, I don't know, teams are pinning their ears back a little bit and being able to get pressure on this offensive line that struggles in obvious passing situations. But I feel like there has to be some regression to the mean when you're getting yourselves into such good third, fourth down situations like the Lions were last night. Every single fourth down they went for was 5 yards or less, and a lot of their third downs were third manageable. At some point, they got to start converting at a reasonable rate for what they're facing, and I don't quite understand what's not working there.
It was frustrating last night, right? Because if you look at it, if you watch the film, especially, the Lions did more on offense than Philadelphia did, simply like flat out by like a lot of different metrics. However, on money downs, like going 0 for 5 on fourth down is crazy. Like, even if you, like Jeremy said, you hit two of those, you probably win the game because that's how well your defense played, which is, again, another frustrating element. I do think some of this is systemic, though, like with facing these really high caliber defensive lines. And I think folks are kind of forgetting here. This is the same minus Milton Williams. Where'd he go to? He got signed as a free agent, but this is the same.
And Josh
This
Sweat,
is,
yeah.
yeah, relatively the same front that punked Kansas City so badly
Right.
in the Super
Mhm.
Bowl. So it is and I'm not saying that's, and like Jeremy said, it's not just a case of the Lions had a bad day and they're really good. There are some, week over week issues here, but I have a solution for that, what we can discuss later. But yeah, I think it was just a frustrating night because the defense played so well. I don't think people would have had such a fuss if the defense kind of got pushed around too, but they kind of put the straps on. And Eagles their offense is having their own set of issues, but the fact that they did that without, three quarters of their starting secondary on the bench, it's just another impressive outing.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I know one of the systemic issues that I look at, and I don't even know if it's an issue. I don't even want to label it as an issue. I think it's a growing pain, which is that you do have a shuffled interior line. Like Tate Ratledge, if Tate Ratledge is making these issues and making these types of mistakes in year 2 or 3, then I think we can really then we can talk about it and we can label it as a systemic issue. Right now, these are growing pains, and the Lions haven't had to deal with this type of youth movement up front in the middle of their offensive line since Dan Campbell's been here. And I think that's the thing that we're seeing them really kind of struggle with for the first time. Yes, Graham has a lot of experience at center, but there's a reason why he prefers right guard, Jeremy. Like the
Yep.
same thing with Coyote. Like Coyote is obviously a great veteran to have as somebody that you can rotate on the interior, but he's still a backup for a reason. And I think that's one of the issues that Morgan that you were even highlighting. Like it's one of the things that you've seen in every last one of these games that the Lions have kind of been a little manhandled is that if you find a defense that has talented interior defensive linemen or just a creative enough defensive coordinator that can cause havoc in the middle of your offensive line, the Lions are going to have issues, and I don't want to label it as a systemic issue just because it is growing pains. Like this is where we are now at ever since Frank Ragnow retired. You are now having to reestablish what your offensive line is going to look like. And unfortunately, like every team goes through it. It's just the Lions' turn, in my opinion, to kind of go through that type of rebuild right now.
Yeah, no doubt. I think you do wish it would be a little bit further along at this point, right? You're 10 games in, you got a 7-game stretch here where there's a thinning margin of error, and so I think it's fair to be frustrated and fair to wonder why it's not further along and all that. But yeah, there's I mean also like who on that line is healthy right now? Anybody? Like
Yeah.
is like Panay's been battling stuff for the past 3 weeks. Decker has obviously got the shoulder thing still. Like I think we forget that it's there because he's not as much on the injury report. He's not missing as many practices. I feel like Graham's limping every other play. Not an excuse, but it's just where it's the reality of the situation is this offensive line isn't where it needs to be. And Dan talked about it today at his Monday press conference and said like, listen, I still believe in this group. I still think they need a little bit more time to play together, and yeah, maybe it can click in December. Maybe it can click tomorrow. There's no reason to believe. It's the thing that I always try to remind people, which is why I try to stay optimistic in these moments where people are frustrated. Is like who you saw on Sunday is not necessarily the team you're going to see the next week, and who you see next week against the Giants isn't necessarily who you're going to see. And part of that is, yes, it depends on who you're playing, but part of that is also you constantly get better. It's the one thing that I learned from Matt Patricia is that who you are in September doesn't define who you are in December. Who you are in October doesn't define who you are in November. Like there is a line, and it's not always up, right? Like the lines could certainly get worse. There are other things that could get worse, but given that there are a lot of young pieces, a lot of mixed pieces on that offensive line, there is reason to believe that there could be some cohesion that happens here in the final stretch of the season. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. But I'm not ready to be like, well, this offensive line isn't good enough to win a Super Bowl. It's over. It's silly. They still have 2 months to figure it out. And in the meantime, you probably have to go 5-2, maybe 4-3 gets you in. But the line, you look at the line schedule and there are a lot of winnable games, and we'll talk about that, I think, all in the second segment. But I'm not ready to hit the panic button yet, especially when there are still so many things, even offensively, that are working. Jahmyr Gibbs is working in the receiving game, for Lord's sake. I've been calling for it since training camp, but like they're finally getting involved in the receiving game and it's working. Jamison Williams, sorry to you, Meko, and all the miles you're going to have to run, but he's starting to break out. And for Christ's sake, like there is not going to be another game this season in which Jared Goff throws to Amon-Ra 12 times and only completes 2 passes, right? Like that is just not going to happen again. And so, yes, you lose Sam Laporta, which is a huge loss. Don't get me wrong. Especially like you can probably explain some of those third down struggles on not having Sam Laporta, right? But hopefully you get Brock Wright into the mix a little bit more. You kind of fill him in on his new role for the next month or two, and then things start rolling because there's just too much talent to me. And yes, I understand like it feels like this offense is a house of cards that relies on the interior offensive line doing their job, but there are ways around it. There are ways you can scheme around a weakness, and I think the Lions can still figure all of that out, especially if their defense is just going to continue to keep them in games.
If they keep playing at the way they're playing, like the defense is just so, because the 3 linebackers, like they can do so much. Like BB is such a chess piece, and I do agree on the offense. Like I still trust them to find their footing. I don't think we're coming for some major shakeup. I think they're going to let Yodi settle in at left guard and just try to play better. Like it sounds stupid, but like they really, from a coaching standpoint, I would always tell my like kids this. I'm like, our dips need to not be as low because that's what's killing us. Like the play is pretty good. There's some ups. We like those, but some of the dips, like we just completely lose our mind, and we can't have that happen. Like, and I think because Tate's doing some good stuff in the running game, he's moving bodies. He's got that nasty streak, but in terms of sorting out games and blocking to the rules and following like where your eyes are supposed to be, he is having issues there. But I tell you what, man, I would hope Miles Frazier can get up to speed over the next like month And even if he's just your primary backup on the interior, or he does push, he's like, this kid's really good. Let's see what he can do at left guard. There's options there too. So I'm not saying we're banking on that, but I really do like Miles Frazier. I don't know.
I don't think, to your point about Tate, and I think this goes back to again my point of like I don't think this is a systemic issue. I think it literally is just the growing pains.
Yeah,
I think there's been enough games where we see like the good in Tate Ratledge, right? Where you're
Sure.
just like, this is why they drafted him in the second round. This is why he was such a highly sought after interior offensive lineman in this draft. The growing pains is the occasional play where he either misses a call or he mishears something or something like that, or he just gets beat inside. Like those are the growing pains of having a rookie on the interior of your offensive line, and he's going up against some of the best interior defensive tackles that he's probably ever seen. Granted, some of them he probably saw at Georgia when you're talking about Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, but like it's still like it's those are the things where like I can be fine with that, right? I don't love it, to Jeremy, to your point, like you wish it was better, you wish it wasn't happening when it is happening, but if it's happening to him, that's one thing. It's a different thing when it's happening to Graham. It's a different thing when it's happening to Panay because those guys you have to hold to a higher standard, and those guys have to kind of already make up for the inexperience that you have when you talk about a Tate Ratledge. I'm not even going to put Yodi in that conversation because Yodi's played enough
Yeah.
starting reps where
Yeah.
like
for sure.
he needs to be held to a higher standard as well. So I do think like, yeah, there's no reason to necessarily like hit the panic button. And I don't think there's any reason to expect any major shifts. To your point, Morgan, about Miles Frazier, like, yeah, I think it would be nice if Miles can get up to speed and at least become a chess piece in this offensive line group where maybe you're able to do some things with him just because he has that versatility. But I think right now, if you're Dan Campbell, you need the guys that you currently have, those front five, to just play better. And not even play better, play consistent. And I think
Yeah.
that's where this offensive line is that they just need to play more consistently. To that degree, I think that's where we kind of get into play calling because I think there's a lot of people that are up in arms about specifically the third and the fourth down calls, Jeremy.
Yep.
I have a rule with the fourth down calls. I refuse to complain about them because I literally just grade them on a pass fail. Either they work or they don't.
Right.
And I think the same thing is kind of true. Like I'm even kind of getting there with some of the third down calls where it's like there's very few of them where I'm like, all right, that made absolutely no sense. I think there were maybe two third down calls last night that I was like, all right, that one Dan probably would want back.
Yeah. I of the third down calls, I don't like the third down to set up the fourth down run plays. Like I kind of
Yeah.
wish that had left with Ben Johnson, to be completely honest. The Lions did it twice in this game on like a 3rd and 8 and like a 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4 one is a little bit more acceptable, but like the 3rd and 8 draws, I'm done with. I don't
was
like
the
them.
one.
I'm sorry, like that's always been a little bit of a bugaboo for me. I know it looks brilliant when it works, but I don't love it. The fourth downs, I know people hate them. I know people want to take the points all the time. I'm ride or die with it, and I understand like it should be situational, right? Your strategy shouldn't be one size fits all. It should be depending on the game, depending on the situation, depending on your opponent, depending how things are going. But like if you go through each of them, the very first one is 4th and 1 from your own 48-yard line. I think it's just a 3-0 game at that point. Your offense hadn't gone through. You didn't know how that game was going to play out yet. Totally okay with that. 4th and 1 from midfield. I think that should be a go 90% of the time, especially that early in the game. The fake punt, I'm out on. It's the one that I didn't love. I didn't understand. When the Eagles didn't take their starting defense off the field, running Grant Stewart into Jalen Carter. No, don't do that. Don't do that. That doesn't make sense to me. But then you're talking about 4th and 5 from the Eagles' 32-yard line on a windy night. Do you want your kicker to try a 50-yard field goal when he had already missed a 48 or whatever yard extra point? I can understand going for it there. Then you're 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. I think Dan Campbell's attitude in this game was, hey, field goals aren't going to cut it against this team. Like when we're not going to get a lot of opportunities to score against this defense. So when we're this close, we got to get 6. And they had the play, right? They had the play. They had Brock Wright open. It was an execution thing. That was an execution thing. I don't have a problem with that. The last one, a 4th and 3 from the Eagles' 45-yard line. Again, you're kind of in that no man's land, right? Which is what Dan talked about. You're already on the Eagles side. Do you want to punt in that situation and gain like 20 to 30 yards of field position? I mean, I guess the answer could be yes, but that's a spot on the field where I think you mostly go for it. And fourth, and like, if you want to be the kind of person to say, well, at that point you were 0-4, nothing was working with your offense, fine. I get it. It's a fair argument, but I'm kind of ride or die, especially when, as Dan put today, like, they were just kind of in that weird no man's land right around midfield with 4th and less than 5. And I think those are mostly go situations, even if you're struggling on offense, because at some point you think you're going to break out because this is a good offense still. It is. I know people don't want to believe that, but it is.
Yeah, this was a game where, like, I'm with you on the 3rd and 8 draw play. Didn't love that one, and I definitely didn't love the fake punt. And I think those are, like, if you want to critique Dan, if you like, those are the ones where you're like, hey, Dan made a bad call in those situations. I think those two are fair. I think the rest, I think, were a lot of execution situations, because there were a lot of throws where, like, Amon-Ra's open, and whether it was the wind, whether it was Jared Goff being rushed, whether it was pressure, those plays were not being made. Like, it wasn't as if he was throwing into double coverage. It wasn't like they were running into situations. I think there was the 4th down call where Gibbs gets tackled by Ojimo, like a yard, like a couple inches short. Again, maybe the scheme of that isn't great when you're trying to have Amon-Ra block a defensive end. Maybe not the most ideal situation, but again, that's a sliver of a block away from that actually being a play. And I think that's one of the things that the broadcast did get right in terms of critiquing Jared Goff, and like, hey, Jalen Carter wasn't even paying attention while you're trying, and you're not snapping the ball to be able to get an easy first down in that situation. Now, I don't know if everyone was set, but like, that did feel like a fair critique, where it's like, maybe if he's a little more locked into the game, that's an easy 4th down to pick up.
Watching it,
Morgan, I don't.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying,
go ahead.
Watching it live, I was like, it looked like he was IDing the mic and all this other stuff. But I'm like, dude, because I saw the same thing as you guys. I'm like, they're messing around. Just do a little quick snap, because the Lions are actually really good at incorporating that. And I love when teams do it, because you can catch somebody lacking for either a big play or an easy score just because you just mix it up here and there. I do love that. And they incorporate that a good bit. But yeah, it is still a good. The funniest thing is, man, this is still what, the 5th best offense in terms of weighted DVOA? I think no, 7. Sorry, there's the 7th best. Is that correct, Jeremy?
I think that's right.
Yeah, 7th best. So like, yeah, it's there's bad, like we just talked about. The dips are really low. We got to stop that. And Jeremy made a really good point earlier. It's the quick pressure, man. Jerry can deal with pressure. There's a misnomer out there, but the quick pressure, like right up Main Street, like up, right in your face. That's tough for anybody to deal with if you're not an alien like Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. So like, that's something I always try to keep in mind too, because some of that quick pressure, like the Jalen Phillips, like, yeah, he missed Brock Wright, but it was there because Panay whiffed and Jalen Phillips was there, and like, boom, just like that. And it's a killer. It's a killer. God, it's frustrating. Go ahead.
I just had one more thing I wanted to say on coaching, in case people think I just carried Dan Campbell's water, because the most annoying thing he did in this game, other than the fake punt, which I don't even know if that was his call or Phipps or whatever, but it was at the end of the first half where he didn't use his timeouts. That was brutal. The Lions could have essentially, if they'd used their timeouts once the Eagles had gotten into a goal-to-go situation, they could have gotten the ball back with about 1:05 and a timeout to potentially double up on possessions, right? They're getting the ball to start the second half. They could have a full possession there. And I didn't realize this, but Eric pointed out to me when we were doing PODD, they were coming off a touchdown. The Lions were coming off a touchdown. Like, you could use the excuse that the Lions offense wasn't rolling at that point, but they actually were. Like, they were coming off figuring some things out. And I was really, really disappointed to hear Dan's answer, which was more or less like, well, I was thinking about it, then I was thinking about it. I'd do it once they got under a minute. Then I'm like, we just get the ball in the second half. That's fine anyways. Like, that is totally in conflict with this idea of, hey, we need to score a touchdown every time we get a chance to score. We need to go for it on all these 4th downs and be aggressive. And then you get a chance at a full possession and you're like, nah, we get it. We'll get it. We'll get it in the second half. Like, what are you doing here? I don't understand that at all. And it felt like they caught Dan Campbell sleeping. And that is, I don't know if that's actually what happened. Dan, like I said he thought about it, but it's one of those things where you're like, okay, now is he getting spread too thin? Is he not thinking about this because he's doing everything on the offense? I don't know if that's true or not, but I was extremely disappointed with that.
That bothered
Yeah,
me,
and I
Miko, because the offense was. Answer me, because like I don't. You're thinking the offense is not looking good, right? For the whole half. Wouldn't you want an extra go at it? I don't just if I would. That's what bothered. I'm right there with you, Jeremy, and I know me and Miko think about that similarly. Like, yeah, sure. If you have 21 points, you get the ball after the half. Like, sure, whatever. Like that's fine. But you were having a really hard time moving the ball and putting points on the board. Yeah, that bothered me. But what about you, Miko?
yeah, I think what we saw in Dan making that decision is a little bit of conflict, right? Of just like seeing his offense struggle for so much of that first half and maybe like not having full faith, which is really odd and very like not like him when he typically is so in lockstep with Jared or just with the offense in general, being like, okay, look, we have some momentum. Let's try and steal another possession. Let's try to double up. And it does feel like in that moment, throughout most of that game, specifically in the first half, specifically with a lot of the fourth down calls, it did feel like he was trying to overcompensate in a way where I think he had it in his mind that this game could potentially like blow open at any given time. And I think as it got later into that first half, I think he started to realize like, okay, maybe it's not. Maybe this is just going to be a street fight, and maybe I can just take us into the half and allow the offense to reset, and maybe we'll come out with a different mindset in the first half. The issue with that, Jeremy, is like you said, it's very passive and it's very much not like him. It's not something that you expect from a Dan Campbell led team to not be aggressive and take advantage of an opportunity to put up more points. And that's something that like I don't even expect our listeners to do when it comes down to saving money on great craft jerky. Like to not take advantage of a great deal, like getting 15% off your order is so unlike people that listen to this podcast. And if you are listening now, this is a great opportunity during the holiday season to head over to righteousfelon.com and get some craft jerky. The Pride of Detroit podcast is brought to you by Righteous Felon Craft Jerky. It's the jerky that fuels the Pride of Detroit POD cast. Each 2-ounce bag of jerky has 16 to 20 grams of protein, and each stick has 8 grams. Trust me, if it's good enough for you, if it's good enough for the Lions, it's going to be good enough for you too. Righteous Felon is based in Westchester, Pennsylvania. They use locally sourced, all natural black Angus beef and prides itself on superior quality, revolutionary branding, and unique flavors that go beyond the stereotypical jerky offering. Morgan, this is your first time on the podcast in a while. Have even dived into or dove into Righteous Felon Craft Jerky?
No, but I need to because I'm up a lot these days with my daughter, like in the middle of the night, and sometimes I'm hungry, and some nice jerky would be better than the things I'm reaching for, which lately have been Reese's Pieces.
I'm telling you. Honestly, and listen, who wouldn't like to pair some Reese's Pieces with some Righteous Felon Craft Jerky? It's a
That's
great
perfect.
combo. Don't let any other people tell you differently. So head over to righteousfelon.com. Use the promo code POD15 at checkout to get 15% off your order. That's promo code POD15 at righteousfelon.com. When we come back in the second half, we're going to talk about some of the positives to come out of this game because we get it. There's a lot of negatives when it comes down to this offense, but the defensive performance that the Lions put on last night is one that really deserves a lot of credit. And we're definitely going to talk about the performance that Jahmyr Gibbs put out yesterday because, again, I think we're starting to see another really good performance out of him and what's kind of establishing him as one of the best running backs in the NFL. So we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more right after this.
It's Reese's Pieces, you freaks.
What I say, pieces?
Yes.
Reese's Pieces, Reese's Pieces,
Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces. You know what, man? That makes sense, though. I say a lot of stuff wrong.
No, it was kick-started the theme song. No, it's Miko's fault.
You say it wrong too,
What?
Miko?
You definitely said Reese's Pieces.
Y'all say pecan or pecan?
I don't know
Pecan.
actually. I've been told this one before.
Pecan, me too. Pecan pie.
I think I normally say pecan, but I say pecan pie.
See,
Anyone that
pecan
says
sound like you're
pecan-
bougie. Pecan. I'm gonna have a
Thank you.
pecan.
Pecan.
Yeah.
What are you, French? Sorry
That's
if
right,
anyone
yeah.
French is watching this.
Pecan sounds like you have pecan makes it sound like you like wear a monocle while you
Yeah.
go to Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, pass me the pecans, the candied pecans. That's funny.
All right, let me get to some alerts. We got some donations coming in, some relatively sad donations by people who said they were going to donate however many points the Lions scored this week.
Dang.
We appreciate it nonetheless. It's a sad reminder of how bad the offense was.
Cool 9.
Ad Hop, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Dan Pask, thank you for the $18 who said he was going to donate double what the Lions were going to score. Says, crikey, it's twice now. Sorry, my donating made us lose. All the very best to you guys today on the PODcast, talking us off the ledge. But that last DPI can take a hike, in my opinion. Go Lions.
Oh, we're going to talk about that in the second half.
Yeah. Are we okay? Yeah. Christopher, thank you for subscribing on YouTube. Soulful Break, thank you for the $9 donation to the University of Michigan Rogel Cancer Center. Dan Pask, a 53-month resub over on Twitch, says, cheers for helping us heal our pains and fears. Papa Smurf, thank you for the 10-month subscribed on Twitch, says, Campbell is obviously past his prime last week. Bring back Morton. I hope that's a joke, Papa Smurf. I think it is.
How dare you?
Choco Brisket Bowl, thank you for the 61 months, says, where's Ryan? Who's wine? What is Ryan? This was a pre-planned week off. It's not like he couldn't show his face after this game. But he'll be all right. Franks thinks, thank you for the 13 months subscribed on Twitch. Chaos Cam 18 months says it's 2025 and potentially game-changing penalties are non-reviewable.
Yeah, that's whack.
Where was New York when I was like, okay, maybe they'll do the little call down thing and be like, nope, that was wrong.
They can't do that. They can't do it for pass interference.
Well, dog.
No.
Why?
Well,
why?
Because what happened the one year that pass interference was reviewable? Did anything seem any better?
Reviewable. No. I'm not talking about reviewable. I'm talking about the stuff they've been doing where they call in and they're like, nope, you messed that up.
They still can't do that.
I know, but we should do because it's the most subjective thing, bro. Like I'm not really one to complain about officiating, and it's still like had the Lions got the ball back, maybe there's a 30% chance that they finally put their stuff together and score. But still, it would have been nice to have a chance. Like I sat there, someone tweeted it like 3.5 hours for it to end like that. I'm like, yep.
My take is if pass interference was reviewable, nothing would have changed about that call. Because
not
technically,
reviewable. I'm talking about someone just an overruling.
But I'm saying there is enough visual evidence there to by the book call pass interference. But if you take the play in its entirety, they're hand fighting, right? It's everybody. Yeah. There's definitely a push off too, right? There is an offensive pass interference that 100% happened in that play. But
you extend that arm,
you can screen grab and he is like holding his arm at one point. And was that enough to stop him from catching the ball? I don't think so. But you can make the argument about, like, is there clear and whatever evidence that there was not a defensive pass interference? I don't think it reached that level, even though I hate the call. I think it's a bad call. I think there's OPI. It was more OPI than there was DPI. But I don't think that gets overturned because of what is like the standard of getting overturned, right? You have to have clear and obvious evidence. Yeah.
I
per usual, you're right with officiating. Go ahead, Meko.
I do think in that situation though, where like it is so obvious that it's both, right? At the very least, they should be like, yeah, we're gonna pick the flag up. Yeah, like that's offsetting,
right?
Yeah. Like because it's literally both. Like
NFL Twitter unanimously hated that thing, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Which never happens.
Yeah.
What do you say, Meko?
Well, no, because I think to bail the Eagles out on that play specifically when they were dog water in the passing game, is ridiculous.
That's what I hate about officiating in general. It's what I hate about pass interference. Like, there's the reason why I scream from the top of my lungs that I hate the way pass interference is being called is because there's so many offenses out there that's like garbage on first down, garbage on second down, throw a prayer on third down, bailed out. Yep. Green Bay Packers. Like, even like the Chiefs try to do that shit now too. It's not fun to watch. It's why I call it I call it immoral football for a reason. Like, it just does not seem like you're an actual functioning offense when you do that. I understand like you're playing within the rule books. You're playing what the rules technically say, and maybe you deserve to be praised for that because it may not look good. It may not be a well-oiled machine, but you're exploiting the rule book essentially. But I hate it. Like, it doesn't feel like football to me, and I hate it.
We also never get them. That's probably why you hate it. I swear to God, I probably think of like 4 off the top of my head through my 30-some years of watching this game. What do you say?
I think they've literally only gotten one defensive pass interference call in their favor since the start of the 2024 season. 2024, not 2025. 2024.
It's crazy. That's so much football. The Lions throw the ball a lot.
It's because Amon-Ra separates too well. It's his fault.
Well,
Dang, bro.
and
That's crazy.
and I think part of it is the style that the Lions play, right? Like they play a lot of route combinations. They play a lot of throws over the middle. They don't play a lot of like boundary passes, one-on-one, jump ball type stuff. I think they will once Isaac Toslaw gets up to, like, he's going to be the guy that draws the defensive pass interference. But it's clear they just don't think he's quite ready yet.
It'd be nice if he was, because that would add an element just to be able to throw that
Sure.
back shoulder stuff and
Yep.
maybe be one of these immoral offenses. I'll take a free 50 yards. Last night I'd have taken a free 50 yards for sure. I know that's, hypocritical of me, but shoot.
Like at this point, like I'm almost willing to just give up the fight, because like what am I get like if the Lions tried to do everything that I want them to want with the league, they get rid of the automatic first downs on illegal contact or defensive holding. The Lions got bit by that yesterday too. There was like a 3rd and 11 conversion because
Extended
was it
it. Yep.
Amik? I think it was Amik had an illegal contact.
Yep.
Just to
And
add to
one
the
play,
first
Iraq
one.
had a really good play too. I was like, dang, man, because he played really well. That's I think why we're so encouraged. I know we're not on the pod anymore, like right now, but like if the defense can turn it up a little bit from that, and if the offense can just not like suck for an entire, like suck for half a quarter, 2 possessions.
Right, do
But
the
a
Ben
whole
Johnson and
game-
just have like 1 bad quarter and 3
Yeah.
great ones.
Sure, flush it, move on. But bro, God, they've been lasting all game. Go ahead, Miko.
Well, I was gonna say, like, we didn't even talk about this, and again, it didn't. I don't think it didn't have a huge impact on the game, other than maybe it stalled the Lions like from getting into a rhythm sooner. The interception, like early in the
Oh,
game,
yeah,
like
that sucked.
Yeah.
it sucked, but at the same time, it's just like, well, you got 3 points out of it. Like it's,
Defense bailed them out.
I don't know. Yeah.
They did it again and again too. I was like, oh my gosh, man.
It was interesting to hear Dan talk about the batted passes and the Eagles defense talk about the batted passes, because they said they saw something. They saw something with Goff and the angle that he was throwing, and Dan was like, yeah, there are a couple things that we know now, like just a couple things that the offensive line can do differently. There's something Goff can do with his arm angle, and he's confident it's not going to be a problem again. But that sort of stuff is scary, right? When the defense recognizes
Yes.
something and then executes in a way that, what was it, 5 or 6 bad passes in this game?
Yeah.
Jordan Davis
Wasn't it
had
a
like
couple-
3 or 4 of them. What'd you say, Miko?
Yeah. I was gonna ask, wasn't it a couple years ago where like the Bears said something similar, where they were like, where I feel like they got him on a couple.
Yeah, I think so.
It happens to Goff. For being a 6'4" guy, it happens to Goff more than I would like.
Yeah.
Well, I think
'Cause
it's
Typically
but
a
it's
short guy
also-
problem.
Well, but I think it's also a byproduct of the Lions offense in terms of like people queuing in on things. Like, again, one thing that they did get right on the broadcast that I think they harped on it a little bit too much, but they are right about, is like the Lions do want to get to the middle of the field. They want to, throw these shorter routes to Amon-Ra or one of the tight ends or something like that in the middle of the field. And when you know that, and you know that the ball is going to come out quickly, like, yeah, as a pass rusher, again, if you have good interior defensive linemen, like if I'm not winning cleanly, this ball is coming out in like 3 seconds. So
Right.
hands up. And he's not launching this deep, especially when it's like a 3-step drop, right? Like,
Sure.
And there are things with, like Jeremy said too, that you can do to counteract. Like if you know you're throwing quick over the middle, then you got to tell your lineman like, hey, we got to like keep engaged. Like don't
Yep.
give these guys a chance
Exactly.
to get their hands in the air. You can't be passive. It's not like it's a 7-step drop, sure, because then Goff, the trajectory is going to be high. No one's going to bat that down. It's stuff like people don't really think about, in my opinion, when they're like, why are passes getting batted down? To your point, Miko, a lot of quick game. And if you got to punish them jumpers too, man. That's what linemen were always taught when I played. When those guys leave their feet, you got to bury them and knock the wind out them jokers, so they think twice about doing that again. Because Jordan Davis did a little damn Mutombo wag. I got mad about that. When he did the little Mutombo wag, I was like, oh hell no.
This is what Dan said about it today. He says, O-line wise, it's not easy, but at some point you feel like you've got them locked down and they're not moving anymore, and they gotta keep and they gotta keep. I'm sorry, they and they stop trying to keep their feet on the ground. So yeah, like once, like you said, once the defensive lineman is no longer pass rushing, that's when you have to go and engage them and make sure that they don't leave the ground. Or if they do, like you said, punish them and make sure they're landing on their ass.
On their back. I'm not wind knocked out of them. It's
Right.
tough when the fat guys get the wind knocked out of them, man. It takes a long time to get it back. I'm serious. There's a science to that. I don't know why.
Weight, probably.
It's tough, man. No one likes that. It's not a fun time. But you won't jump again. But yeah, man. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter too. I tell you what, when he's not spitting on people, he's the best interior defensive lineman in the game, in my opinion. That's a bad man.
Well, I think that reinvigorated like the debate on should the Lions have drafted and why I'm starting to see more people relitigate Brad Holmes and all this sort of stuff. And listen, like, yeah, if you want to harp on the Jalen Carter pick, fine. But I think most of us can agree why the Lions didn't make that pick. And listen, if you want to say, hey, I don't care about player character, I just want good players, fine. You can have that take. But that just know, like, you're going to get upset a lot here because that's not what Brad Holmes thinks.
And y'all weren't around. If y'all are saying that, y'all weren't around during the Titus Young, Mikel LaShore era. We had a tackle who continually got in trouble. Nick. Oh yeah, I was talking about an offensive tackle, but yes, Nick Fairley. Like Sue, at least was a choir boy off the field. He just stepped on people and got mad on the field. Like, yeah, you mess around too much, man. Like I get it. I get both sides of the coin. It would be nice to have Jalen Carter, but the first play of the game, that man spit on Dak Prescott, or the first play of the season, and got kicked out. Like that's just not a Dan Campbell player, bro. Like
I also feel like,
but Brian Branch is Morgan.
That's a whole different. But yes, I know I'm gonna get that. God Almighty.
Absolutely, because Juju deserved it. But I also think like,
yes, he did.
and again, this is in no way saying that I wouldn't want Jalen Carter on the team, but to like have that take now,
come on,
after holding an Eagles team to 16 points is a wild take to have, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, it is kind of funny because like I feel outside of the line should have traded to get an offensive lineman at the trade deadline, which is a fair take to have. Like I think we all kind of secretly hoped it was going to happen, but understood why it didn't. The people are like, they still need an edge rush. They needed an edge rusher. They should have traded for Jalen Phillips. It's like, what more do you want on the defense right now?
Mm-hmm. Jalen Phillips would be an embarrassment of riches. What do you have, a 3-person rotation at the end opposite Hutch?
Especially when Davenport comes back and Pascal comes back, and
that's a lot of bodies. You played Aleem out there the other day. It's like, well, you're gonna, dude. It's just if there was if there's a starting interior offensive lineman, I'd have been very happy because it would help. But they're not available for a reason, guys. It's like they just, we're kind of in the playoff hunt. You want our starting right guard, our left guard? Excuse me, because not for tape, but yeah, center maybe.
By the way, the one team that did trade for an offensive lineman, Los Angeles Chargers. Let me check in on the scoreboard. Let me check in on the scoreboard this week. They lost. Bro. They lost 35-6.
To whom, Jeremy? Tell them to whom.
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Duval, that weird coach.
Who, by the way, they lost 35-6. And the Jaguars allowed the Texans to score 36 points the previous week, and that is not the that is the Davis Mills led Houston Texans. Yeah. So, turns out just because you make a move at the trade deadline doesn't necessarily mean you're making an improvement.
Who'd they trade for?
I can't remember his name.
See, you don't even know who it is, and we cover this. We know offensive line. That's the thing, man.
That tackle.
If they were available, if they were available for the not a crazy price, though, I think Brad would have done it because it would have helped. And that was before Christian got hurt. So, right? Yeah.
It was that. Well, no, Christian Mahogany got hurt right before the trade deadline, like 2 days. Yeah, 2 days before the deadline.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was a couple weeks ago. So yeah, okay, yes. I'm sure he was asking because
Trevor Penning, Eric Schlitt coming in through in the chat. Trevor Penning.
See, there you go. And I know who that is because I think he was a small school kid.
Now I'm curious how he did in the game.
Well, 35-6. I'm going to gamble. Not good. Probably
He
got his you-know-what whooped.
a 57.5 overall grade.
It's not terrible.
But 66.5 in pass blocking, 52.9. I'm sorry, I'm not even looking at the right game. He had a 46.3 overall grade, a 36.1 pass blocking grade, but a 66.5 run blocking grade. 2 penalties.
Sounds like Coyote. Good run blocker. Not gonna,
He gave up a sack and 5 pressures.
Nice.
At left tackle. So
pretty good.
Pretty good.
I mean, they're down Joe Art Slater and Alt hurt. Yeah, bro, go ahead and cancel that. And people are mad at Harbaugh. I'm like, y'all are crazy, bro.
That's also why people were mad at this before the game even had. I'm like, the Lions aren't in that bad of an injury situation. Like, obviously it sucks. Like, it was after they lost Laporta, and I even put out there like, losing Laporta sucks. This is a team that already struggled on third down. Now they're going to probably struggle even more. Lo and behold, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
But I was also like, but look at the start. Like, they haven't lost a single starter for the year. Like, that's kind of crazy. They were missing 2 starters on offense, Laporta and Mahogany, and 4 on defense. 6 is a lot. Not going to lie. But of those 4 starters on defense that they were missing, sounds like they're going to get DJ Reed back. They could get Terrion back. They could get Davenport. I think Davenport might more be a week away.
But Terrion this week?
I think Terrion is possible this week. Concussions are weird, so I don't want to speak definitively. But Dan was more or less like, yeah, DJ Reed's probably coming back this week. Good. Sounds like Kirby's another week out, unfortunately. But like one more week, right? And so you're going to have, of those 4 starters you're missing this week, and it was only this week with a couple of those guys, you're going to get all 4 back in the next 2-3 weeks. Like, that's not a bad injury situation to be in.
I
did want to ask you guys because I saw it in the chat. I believe it was from YouTube. I think it was Matthew Roller asked. So, like, forget hindsight, because we talked about the offensive line. Do you guys think at least that it'll be a priority in this draft? And I at least do. I think it is.
It might be one too.
I was gonna say because between center and
left tackle,
I feel left tackle. Like, yeah, I feel like those are the 2 positions that like you need to reinforce, whether you're looking to draft a starter or just like you need more competition and more depth. Like, I think we would all love Gio to make a huge jump and make that Mailata type of ascension into a quality starting left tackle. I feel like it's the same thing we do with like running quarterbacks, where it's like if he's a little mobile, like, oh, any running quarterback can become Lamar Jackson. It's like, no, those are one-on-ones.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, it's again, and this is a good like overall perspective thing, it's hard to find other areas of need, to be quite honest, because you have your 2 long-term corners, you have your 2 long-term starting safeties. Like, maybe linebacker is in the mix too, because you're probably going to lose Anzalone, and I don't know if Malcolm is ready to like take over a starting spot necessarily, and you'd have to re-sign him anyways too. And so yeah, like, tackle an interior offensive lineman. It might not be center, because maybe that's still the plan for Tate. But yeah, I think 1-2 offensive line makes a ton of sense, because where else do you realistically want to spend that on?
Even
tight
before
end?
The offense. Yeah,
dude. I was gonna say it's probably the only other, like, if you're talking like need, tight end.
I want a Darnell Wright so bad, bro. Not Darnell Wright, but Darnell Washington.
Darnell Washington. But yeah, but like I'm even like, think long term here. Where's there a long term need that isn't protected by a guy that is signed long term? You have, your right tackle locked down. You have your quarterback. You have one running back. Like, maybe you could add another one there. You do have a tight end that you have for the future. You have a defensive end for the future. You have a couple pieces on the interior of your defensive line. You have Jack Campbell, who's probably going to be locked up. You already locked up Derek Barnes. You're good at corner, like maybe nickel because of Meek. I don't know. And then your safeties are locked up. Like, short and long term, they're in a good spot, which is a good thing to remind people about, because I am so sick of hearing like the window conversation.
Dude.
Yeah.
What are we
Look at these
talking
teams'
about?
core. That's that's a shutdown for me. I'm like, come on, man. Like, look at the team, bro. What are you talking about? Go ahead,
I will
Miko.
say though, I was gonna say the one thing I'll say is like at this point, I feel like I can say definitively like you need to keep Amik.
He's just putting on so
Like
much good tape out there. How much is it going to
right?
cost, though? It's like,
Right?
I don't care at this point because at this point in time,
It matters.
like
Though.
bro,
it
he might be like
I know
12,
it I know
14
it
million. I could see him
I
getting a
know
bag.
I know it matters, right? But unfortunately, and I'm not saying that he won't get there, but until TA puts on the type of tape that Amik has put on,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want the dude that can play inside and outside.
But that's the kind of cuts that you're going to have to make. That's the kind of like
Sure.
Yeah.
it's the deal that you have to make is you have to trust your young players to be able to take the spot of good veterans. It's what makes Brad Holmes' job extremely hard moving forward, and it's why I don't like him trading away third round picks because I need
them
him.
things. Yeah,
I
bro.
need you need those draft picks to replace some really good guys on the roster you're going to have to let go. But I get it. Like I don't want to see Amik go. I want them to find a way to figure it out. But I don't know if they can do
channel my
it.
inner Ryan Matthews and go tinfoil hat here?
Please, let's get some tinfoil hats in the chat, please.
What if in the offseason the Lions trade Terrion to retain
Oh boy.
To retain
because
me?
to retain Amik because at this point in time, like
That's wild.
I know it's wild, but first of all, like the return that you would get on TA was probably still going to be somewhat nice. And I just think like at this, like Amik's not like what Amik's like what 27.
Yeah, because he's coming off his rookie deal still. No. This is his second contract. Excuse me. Because he
So
did his
maybe
rookie.
28.
He's 27. He will be
Oh, wait, so he's 27.
28 in July, so
I meant to say this is his second contract. Yeah. 28 in July. But yeah, I would love to keep him meat, bro. But his tape is looking, and if he continues to ball like the Lions make a deep run, this boy, he's gonna get paid, bro. And good for him. I love him. I love Amik Robertson, but
I just think like yeah, like between like I mean not even just talking about play, like culture fit, like him and DJ Reed.
Yeah, oh, no doubt.
And it's the same thing. It's the same thing we felt about Carlton last year, where it was like culture fit wise, they play the brand of football that you want to see, and I think that is where like it could be a different type of difficult conversation. Where I know we're always talking about, well, hey, you're gonna have to let players go, like veteran players go, so that you can keep some of this young talent. This could be one of the very few situations where like hey we might have to let go of a young piece to keep a veteran that's playing at a really high like it's not even the fact that Amik's playing at a high level. Amik's playing at a higher level than he played last year, and he played great last year.
Amik's a dog.
he's
I'm
a
not
dog.
gonna I'm not gonna argue anything you're saying. I want to keep Terry on though. I think Terry on's good, bro.
Right, and
I listen. I'm not saying we need to ship out Terrion. I'm just saying that if you put a gun to my head and you made me pick one,
well, of course, like Amik is playing better than Tyrion. I don't think anyone would argue that. The problem is, or the benefit of Tyrion is that he's cheap and he's younger,
sure,
and you need
But I
both
mean-
of those things right now.
you 100% do. But I think again, addressing the elephant that's in the room, if Terrion continues to play the way he's playing, you're basically going to be drafting another corner in like 2 years anyway.
Nah, come on, he's turning a
You don't
corner.
think he's
like,
gonna progress, bro? Come on. He's
I
like
think-
ain't
I
Terry
think
on
he's
like
turning
only
corner.
22?
Like,
He's a
they-
baby, bro.
honestly, my concern for him is more durability than anything right now. I
Yeah,
think
but
he's going to be
and I-
fine.
Yeah.
Sure. And again, I'm not saying that he's not improving. Like Morgan, you know as well as anyone, like I love TA and I do think he's improving. And I do think I think he, like most corners that come from college to the pros, struggle with the same thing. You're allowed to be so freaking physical in college, and then you come
Yeah.
to the league and they tell you to put on mittens. Like it's
You're not
not a
wrong.
fair it's not a fair transition. So like the style of football that TA plays best, the style of football that got him drafted, the league is literally telling him he can't play like that, which is ridiculous. I think if he were allowed to play the way he was able to play in college, you would see a different corner.
especially
I
coming from
just
playing for Saban. And they
yeah.
under Saban, they play physical, bro. But
I
yeah,
I just think it's an interesting thing to think about. I am in no way advocating that the Lions should trade away Terry Arnold. I just think that this could be one of those very few opportunities or situations where do the Lions go for talent over youth? Do the Lions choose talent over, you know,
You
cap
just want one of those
flexibility?
Aaron Glenn draft picks. That's what you want. The Jets got all those draft picks. Send Terry on over there.
Hey, listen, if it got you an extra hold on, if it got you an extra draft pick and you could trade up into the top 15 to get a left
Right.
tackle, would you take it?
Sure. And listen, they got a Sauce Gardner sized hole on their roster.
yeah.
Listen, that's all I'm saying.
It's all
That's
making
I'm
sense
saying.
now. No. I get where you're coming from.
I do too. I'd love to keep a meek, man. That's the thing. Like, but then the salary cap guy in me is like, no, Bubba. Just because, I want to pay BB before that ball gets out too far in front of us. Like, let's just get that done. And like a little bit of a JMO move, not like a record setting, contract, but a nice little, like, here you go, 3 more years. Boom, boom, boom,
BB's already
So.
digging into his next contract, by the way, with all his fines. He's he's going to get another fine
Are you
this
being
week.
serious? No,
Well,
he's not.
he's absolutely going to get another fine this week.
Well, no, I know
The
that,
sh-
but I meant like he's not digging into his extras. He's
No.
a second round pick.
No, yeah, he's fine.
But yeah, he
I'm
does pay
joking.
a lot. Oh, good lord.
And listen, like,
He's gonna get fined.
I hate to say it, but we're getting dangerously close to a territory of him getting suspended for another headshot.
Oh, dude, no, hold on. When was
how
his
many
last
times
one?
how many
When was
times
his
has he
last
done
one?
it? I don't
When
remember
was his
the
last one?
I don't think he's had one this
I don't-
year necessarily.
Oh, we're
but, like,
good. We're good. That's a long time.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
ago.
and I still don't think that one is like
That one wasn't even
bad.
malicious.
it wasn't
bro.
egregious, but he's got to be fined for, I don't know, at least 5-6 times in his career already, right? Right? Sure.
Yeah, but there's.
But I think but that's one that he should be able to appeal. If they try to suspend him for that one, like you
No,
should be.
I know. I don't think that's gonna
If
happen.
if Louisville can appeal a hip drop,
Come on, man. Yeah, that one wasn't even
and
like.
he's had 3 in the same season, like Brian
Yeah,
Brand
yeah.
should be able to appeal a not malicious like helmet to helmet hit.
As long
No,
as it's
I
not Jordy
don't-
Nelson up there.
I'm not saying he should get suspended. I'm just saying he is, like, I know how the NFL operates. When they have a repeat
Sure.
offender for something that they don't want in the game, they don't want these head-hunting hits. You're like, his fine is going to be way bigger than well, I don't know if they go year to year or not, but like repeat offenders,
75K.
it becomes a force multiplier where like now you're getting 2 times what the normal thing is, and then the next step as you keep getting multiplied is suspension. And so I'm not saying he will get suspended. I'm not saying he should get suspended. I'm just saying he needs to be careful.
Jeremy lived through the Sioux years, is what he's telling you. Also, what you're saying, Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, if he were to do it again here against the Giants, then we'd probably talking to possibly a suspension. Yeah,
It's possible.
yeah.
And it does depend on the severity and the blatancy of it, right? Like, he got tossed in that
Green
Green Bay
Bay
game
one.
because that was a terrible
was
one.
bad.
Like, that he
That was a
deserved to
bad
get
one.
tossed in that game.
Yeah.
What he did last night was nowhere near that one. Nowhere near.
Someone said something. I forgot who said it, but it was like sometimes Brett lets his intrusive thoughts win, and it should have me geeked out, bro.
Hey man, if
He's
Brian
such a
Branch
good
played
guy,
10,
but then there one guy's
if
like,
he played 10 years ago, Brian Branch would be like the most beloved safety in the
Yeah,
league.
right?
yeah, man.
And dude, I love the guy, man. Like, he plays hard, he plays smart. I feel like he's quietly been playing really good football, but hasn't had like the explosive plays that maybe we were used to last year.
yeah.
He's a good
Yeah,
player.
he's still playing.
And he's also like the nicest freaking dude in the world, which is why
really
all
is.
this all this reputation stuff is so wild to me. That
I
he's
think
just he's so different on the field, right? He has that switch flip.
I think these
Brian
the
Branch is
opposing.
set up.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, I mean, especially after listen, I don't blame him from the KC game, but I think
Right.
opposing fan bases do think we have like all these like terrible humans. Like, I don't think we really have many mean players.
No.
Panay's mean during the game.
I wouldn't even say Panay's mean though. Like I'd say that
Intense.
Yeah,
yeah, Panay's intense.
a killer.
Yeah.
but in a good way, a nice killer.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like,
Nice
yeah, but
guy.
like no one's
He's
but, like,
Dexter.
no one's grimy on this team. Like
No, I
to that point
agree.
about
Yeah.
like, hey, we went through the Ndamukong Suh years, like
Sue was dirty. We,
not but it wasn't even just him. Like it was
it was
like
a lot of players.
Nick Fairley was grimy. Like
Yeah, he
there
was.
was a
Lewis
number of dudes
Delmas
on
would
the
have. Oh boy, he would have
bro.
had suspensions weekly. Delmas, you're suspended again because that's all he did was hit with his head. There's a lot of players back then, man. Like Brian Dawkins.
Sure.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Bro, do you watch? You know who's like I love watching his highlights because it's the definition of like a dude that would have been kicked out of the league after like a couple games. Ryan Clark was
Oh
a
yeah,
psychopath on the
dude.
football field.
Yeah. He would knock himself out and stuff too. Like, and I'd be
Bro,
like,
the
oh
Wes Welker hit that he had,
yeah.
like so unnecessary.
No, bro. Yeah, that was a violent era of football, and I'm glad we've gotten away from that. But there is some of this stuff like there's a really egregious roughing the passer I saw in some game yesterday, not the Lions, but it was bad.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yep,
Yeah.
that's about right."
Yeah, I agree that like the league obviously had to crack down on some of the hits that you were seeing. I do still struggle, and like a lot of defensive players do, like right where it's like, okay, but how do you expect me to dislodge players from like, am I supposed to just allow catches to happen? Like, how the hell am I supposed to do that at real speed?
It's
Especially as
impossible to
fast
play
as Brian
defense.
Branch play. That's what I'm saying, man. And beat that one yesterday too. I do think like I think Jeremy said it or maybe Miko, but about the context mattering because like that wasn't like that was just the ball carrier got low. Brian Branch isn't that tall. He was coming, he came in there fast. Boom, boom, boom. Like there's different levels to it. Like the Green Bay one, that was egregious. That was hilarious. Not hilarious. Shouldn't say that on the- Bro,
The double middle fingers afterwards was hilarious. We can agree with that part.
man, I played
Yes.
football a certain kind of way too, and like I'm not gonna lie to you, I got kicked out of a game or two, like just doing agreed, like not dirty, but like, you know, crack back block stuff like that, bro. So you just get in, sometimes you
have-
let your intrusive thoughts. Brian Branch is a lot nicer than I am. I'll say that much. He's a nicer person than me.
All right, let me get to the rest of these alerts. Some Movember stuff to take care of as well. As we're only $193 away from $7,000 donated to the University of Michigan Rogel Cancer Center. If we get to 7,000, that means another spin on the Wheel of Pain as well. But yeah, let me get through the rest of these alerts. Sundog, thank you for 35 months subscribed on Twitch, says just watching Jameer Gibbs cutback runs on repeat until next week. We're good. I like that. Lost Oceans, a $25 donation to University of Michigan Rogel Cancer Center, says, write Paul Blart's daddy on your face. Why? Why, Lost Oceans?
Because
Oh, I thought
because
that
you
was
made a
Nick
big
Degree.
you made a big deal about having to write daddy last week. And, like that's about to be like the number one thing that people are gonna want you to write on your face.
You like Paul Blart, Jeremy?
No.
I said everybody's name right there. I do that in my house, bro. I'll be like, Sarah. That's funny. Why Paul Blart? That's a funny pick. I'd like to know.
Lost Oceans, explain
Is it the
yourself. I'll
mustache?
do it, but I'll...
It's the mustache. He is a mustache in that. What's his name? King and Queens guy?
Yeah, Kevin
Kevin
James,
James.
James. I would have said James
AKA
Kevin.
aka Matt Taylor.
What?
Oh man, I guess Kevin James is like doing this thing on like social media where he's created a persona for himself called Matt Taylor, where he's like an art teacher,
What?
and like he's legit convinced some people that it's like a doppelganger type of thing, where it's like, oh, it's a dude that looks like Kevin James that just so happens to be an art teacher.
Oh, I
And
did see
people are-
that.
But it's really
people are
Kevin
like-
James?
I mean,
No.
it's clearly Kevin James, but people
is it?
don't.
Oh, I guess maybe I don't know the meme.
He's
Maybe
a
I don't know
fake
the meme.
doppelganger.
I guess I got
But, like-
faked out.
But that's how good he has been at playing this teacher. Like,
Yo, that's funny. Dang. People are funny, bro. He's
my
actually
wife
pretty
is so mad at me about that because like I introduced her to it and now she's seeing it on her feed and she's like, I refuse to be gaslit that this is not Kevin James.
He's on
I'm
like
just
TikTok
keeping it-
or something doing it?
Yeah, like he set up
Okay.
a whole new TikTok
He's funny for
with the
that.
dude's name,
Matt Taylor.
and he's in a school too. Like it's not even like he's just like doing this stuff from home. Like he's in a school with students, teaching them art.
What?
So he's a real teacher?
That see?
Hold on,
I
bro. See, I don't know about this. It
the
seems like
internet's weird, man. Stop playing with me. Just be normal. Just can we bring back
Well, because
Vine and that be the only social media?
didn't
because the
someone buy
question
it to
is
bring it back?
the question about this whole thing though is like, if it is fake, right? Where the hell is he getting these kids? And what school is letting Kevin James
Unless he
just
got his
throw?
teaching certificate or something. They always need substitutes. You know? I don't know. I
That's
don't know that. I
that's where Kevin
probably
James is taking his career next.
substitute
Oh
teaching.
yeah, someone else said it too. And the like, he's actually painting, and the paintings are good. Like, so it's
See, now
another.
stop the cap. Because painting is hard. Have you ever done one of those paint and pours? I haven't either, but I don't think I'd be good at it.
No,
Bro.
I
He has a video on his TikTok where he like paints like a sunset of something,
See,
like, and
no.
it's like sped up.
He does it. See, it's someone else's hand probably.
you know, I one of my favorite like Instagram TikTok trends is the couples that paint each other and then like present their painting to each
okay.
other. Because
Sorry, my head
I
went
would
somewhere completely different.
I would be the terrible boyfriend that is just like stick figure, horrible looking face that makes the girlfriend cry because it's so bad. That's how you think I look. Like, that's me. I can't draw worth crap.
No, me neither. Mine would probably show Sarah, and then she'd get really mad. But I would be like, I tried really hard to make you beautiful, but it didn't work. That's what I could see happening, in my opinion.
Yeah, my wife would take that way more personal than it should be.
You can draw though, Miko, can't you? You can't draw.
I mean, yeah, I can, but like not like well enough to like the
Paint a
pressure
person.
of trying to draw my wife and make sure that it looks enough like her to where she's not gonna be offended with like
See, there
I
you
would
go.
crack under pressure.
Me too. Oh yeah, I'd be very nervous, sweaty.
All right. Let me get through the rest of these. I will write Paul Blart's daddy on my head, I guess. Lost
got to that
Oceans.
point?
Have you explained yourself yet? What? What'd you say?
Paul. Oh, dude, I have two. I have found another bobblehead.
Oh, nice.
I found a Calvin Johnson one from that giveaway. So that's another one. We got that one, the Brad Holmes one.
Nice. Yves Tinker for the 49 months subscribed on Twitch. Jed in Savannah, 16 months subscribed on Twitch. Yeah, Detroit, 75 months subscribed on Twitch. Captain James Kirk, 10 bits says fire John Morton. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He says free John Morton.
Free?
Free John Morton.
Oh, people are funny.
Y'all crazy. Keith Schmidt, thank you for the $10 super chat. Says, on one hand, this felt a lot like the loss to Tampa Bay last year. We were fine. On the other, the failure in critical downs is starting to feel less like a fluke and more like a pattern with this offense. I had the same thought come across me sometime either between last night and early this morning. Those things basically were synonymous with my sleep pattern. Comparing it to that Bucks game where it was just like the offense had its moments, but they just didn't convert when they needed to. And I went back and actually looked at the box score, and I think the offense was a little bit better against the Bucks than they were last night, but it did have the same feel to it in a way. Or it was just like if they could have just gotten out of their own way on third down or in the red zone in the Bucks case, they probably win that game.
Todd Bowles, wasn't Jared hit a ton that game too? Like he just
I think so.
Just one of those, yeah. Couldn't really get a rhythm. And I do agree with what I think Dan said it about trusting St. Brown. Like that was just kind of what he caught 2 passes on 12 targets.
Yeah.
Dang, bro. Like he's gonna be hot coming into New York. And it's gonna be I'll save it for them, but New York's got a good D line too. So
But
it's not like,
Garbo.
Oh, it's
Overall,
really
the
bad.
defense is Garbo.
It's really bad. But at least they have Sexy Dexy and Brian Burns.
Yep. And
what's it?
Thibodeau.
Thibodeau
Is he not injured? I don't even know.
No, I thought. Well, and then Abdul Carter he got in trouble.
Yeah, they benched him for the first quarter or something.
Yeah, because apparently he was sleeping in the facility during a meeting. I'm like, bro, what?
Interesting.
Miko, you're muted, brother.
I would say him and Keon Coleman are on some other stuff, man.
Yeah, that's not great. Yep.
Damian Smith, £5 super chat, says, was Dan weary or tired at the presser earlier? He looked kind of burnt out. Do you agree with Solak on Goff and weather? Wingo, why not active? No, I think Dan just kind of looks like that sometimes after a loss. Like He's just not eager to talk to the media and answer a bunch
His
of
voice was
questions about
hoarse.
fourth down again, and I just feel like sometimes he's that way after a loss. I don't. A couple people have referenced this Ben Solak and Goff on the weather thing. I don't know what this take is. I haven't seen it.
Solak tweeted something. Unfollow Solak, y'all. Solak tweeted something about Goff. His completion rate is under 60%, under 60% in outdoor games under 50 degrees or something. I'm paraphrasing there, but yeah, I don't know.
How far did he go back though?
I don't
Because
even know,
like
man.
I feel like Jared's had enough games
Lately,
since yeah, where
yeah,
I feel like that was disproved, or at least like that it's not every cold weather game.
no, no, it wasn't even that cold. It was just windy. Like it's hard to do that. Like everyone was having problems, man. Like even that last throw that Jalen Hurts threw to AJ, that was like that thing sailed. It was, like wasn't even. It was hardly even catchable.
But like, and this is something that I think it's okay to admit, and it's okay to say this. He played bad. Like I'm not even going to
Yeah.
blame weather. He played bad.
Yep.
Like flat out. Like wind wind is not an excuse for you to be throwing a football at Jamison Williams' feet when like he has like when he's clearly won on his route.
Yeah.
Like again, some of the stuff that was like a legitimate question about like him and St. Brown just not really being on the same page. Like there was I think it was a third down play where Saints crossing and
Mm.
he keeps going and Jared thought he was going to sit.
Right.
Like those are
Yeah.
those are
Five
just
passes get batted at the line. Those are all incomplete passes, not really Jared's fault.
Yeah. Like yeah.
yeah.
There was blame to like JMO had the one at his feet, but then he also dropped the one. I think it was a third down. Where or it wasn't a third down, but yeah, he just dropped it. I'm like, dude, and he could have had some. Could have been another play like the one he scored on. But yeah, Jared just definitely didn't. Everything kind of looked out of whack, and even when he had time, he looked a little sped up to me. And
Well, and I
yeah,
think that's the like if people want to I know someone asked the question about Dan in his press conference, and Morgan, you know this because I brought it up to you. The only person that I didn't really like care for in their press conference was Jared. I thought Jared was a little testy in his press
mm,
conference
He
for the
always
fact
is.
that like that you played bad. Like
I didn't
and I
Yeah.
think
watch it
people
yet,
were
but
asking
Jeremy said it too. It was during the post game presser.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
he's probably
he's
pissy.
he's always a
And I get
little.
it.
He never really admits that he had a bad game, but he doesn't blame anybody else. To be clear, like he'll say like I've missed on a couple throws here and there. Yeah, I'd like to have a couple throws back. Yeah, I'd maybe have a decision back here or there. But he's never like that was an unacceptable performance by myself. I've never heard him say anything like that. And listen, I don't care if he does or doesn't. It doesn't matter to me because I'm not one of these people that's like I demand accountability. You must come in front and say you suck. Like okay, is that going to make you actually feel better? No.
Oh,
But that is not something that Jared Goff does very often. He'll usually downplay his own performance, and I think he does it in service of the entire team. I think he does it in service of like we're fine. Like that was a bad performance. We're gonna be fine. But I can
Yeah, and I
understand how
have
it comes off as arrogant. Like, nah, I didn't suck.
no, it wasn't even that. Like it was specific. I can't even remember what the exact question was. But
Yeah.
like I didn't personally as a fan didn't appreciate the whole like it was something along the lines where it's like, oh, when we play well, you guys praise us, but when we don't, you guys are gonna blow this up. And it's
That
like,
was on the fourth down stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like, okay, I don't even think like in the way the question was asked, it wasn't even like phrased in a way to like,
Accusatory.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, to elicit that kind of response. And that's where I was like, okay, I don't like that. I'm
Yeah.
perfectly fine with like you not lamenting a loss because like yeah, I do want my quarterback to be able to move on and be able to just chalk it up to like, yeah, I had a bad performance, I missed some throws, I did this and that, the offense is going to be fine and keep it moving. I think when someone asks you something legitimate about like, hey, was there something specific that you noticed or was there something specific that was happening on those plays to elicit that kind of response, it's like, all right, like
He gets
that
defensive.
was a little
He
yeah,
gets defensive
that
for
seemed
sure.
unnecessarily defensive.
So I'm retraced Ben Solak's tweet. So he says you can see the accuracy drain on Goff in this weather anytime he tries to drive the football. In his career outdoors under 50 degrees, he's a sub 60% completion passer. So indeed, in his career, so he is taking the entirety of his career into account here. And then someone actually replies to him and says, "This is a completely lazy, typical ESPN take. He's had a 76% completion rate outdoors since 2024." Oddly, Solak's response is to just give a screenshot of the data that he already said, which clearly shows he's taking from 2016 until today, which isn't responding to the criticism at all.
Yeah.
I didn't mind Solak for a while, and then y'all remember that play where he just was insistent that Josh Allen could have thrown the no looker with a free runner coming off the edge, because Ben Solak would, obviously. So Josh Allen should be able to. And like you had like former quarterbacks, everyone telling him like, no, brother. And he was still, no, this totally, look at these dots. You could totally throw this ball. Yeah, I don't.
That's how it works in Madden. Like that's exactly what you could do in Madden. And
I don't even think he plays Madden. I don't know, man. I'm not a big Solak guy.
There are things I like about him, things I don't like about him. I also know him personally, so it's hard for me to.
Oh, my bad, Jeremy.
No, it's fine. Like, you can have an opinion on people. It's okay.
Just that day when he was like, brother, it was like Kurt Warner, like people like that telling him like, no, brother, and he was like, nah. With it.
Like I'm gonna be completely honest and transparent here. I'm vain enough to be like, oh my god, someone at ESPN knows who I am. And so I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything bad about him. He's a guy at ESPN who knows me, like knows me personally. Like,
and
he's from Grand Rapids.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't blame you, because that's exactly how I would be if someone actually knew me from ESPN. I'd be like, hey, we could never talk bad about this person, because like,
like nobody knows me from ESPN, baby.
Don't you ruin this relationship for me.
I do think he can be smart, and I do think he can be
definitely
smarter than he thinks he is.
Well,
because that's one of the traits that I try to be very careful of myself, is like, know your limits of your own knowledge. Mm-hmm. And admit if you just straight up don't know something,
because it's going to come to light. So I ask people.
And there's no shame. There's no shame being like, I don't know. When people ask me some questions like, hey, why did Goff throw there instead of there? I'll be like, I don't know. Like, here's my best guess, but I don't know the play call. I can't tell you.
Sometimes it's a game of telephone when you're really in the weeds in football.
Yeah.
Because I'll ask you something, and then you ask somebody, or you'll ask me, and then I'm like, boop, boop, boop. I'm gonna hit up some smart people real quick, and then it's just how you get the best answers, man.
For sure. And then Wingo, I mean, like, the reason Wingo's not playing is because they're deep as hell at defensive tackle.
Too many bodies, yeah, bro. Exactly.
Like,
I was like Roy, because Roy Lopez is playing out of his mind.
I want to keep Roy Lopez. Talk about somebody I want to keep here. My God.
They're trying to find snaps for Tyleek, for God's sakes, because Roy Lopez is playing so well, and he's your first round pick, and so Wingo's just in a tough numbers game right now. Maybe that frees up a little bit next year when you presumably DJ Reader isn't here anymore, but.
Reader could retire. I'm not speculating. I could just see him being like, yeah, I'm good.
For sure.
He's smart. He's got a lot of business stuff going on.
Yeah.
Roy would be cool to keep, though. Is he on a 1 year?
Well, it was a 2 year, right?
It was
he missed most of last year? Or he missed like the first half of last year, right? Reader? Or are we talking about Lopez?
Roy Lopez.
Oh, you're talking about Lopez. Lopez is 1 year, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I remember Readers, yeah. But yeah, I want to keep Roy Lopez.
2 more donations here, and then maybe we'll jump back into our second segment here. Austin Mammoth, a $9 donation, which is either a reference to J.J. McCarthy or a reference to the Lions' 9 points. Maybe both. Ken Fletcher, $25 donation to the University of Michigan Local Cancer Center, says, I know we normally do the score, but I'd rather do the total so I can get Morgan's all-time favorite non-Lions wide receiver written on Jeremy's face. Thank you for your work.
Wow. That just sent me down a deep football rabbit hole. Favorite non-Lions wide receiver ever?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me think about that for a second.
And while you think, a reminder that we are now only $159 away from $7,000 raised for the University of Michigan Rogel Cancer Center in the month of November. And as a reminder, a $25 donation, and I'll write something on my face, a $50 donation, and you can mute one of us even mid-podcast if you want, for a full minute. A $75 donation, and someone will do a celebrity impression of your choice. And a $300 donation means someone is cracking an egg on someone's head. A $500 donation, and you get a custom Pride of Detroit Movember hoodie. So a lot of good things on the line too if you have some disposable income that you want to give to a good cause. All right, who is it?
Randy Moss.
It's a good choice.
I love Randy Moss, man. Even when it was one of those tough situations because obviously he killed us for a long time, but he killed everybody. So you felt less bad about it.
True.
No, but Randy Moss, I just love Randy Moss, man. The Southern accent. Like, you ever hear Julian Edelman impersonate him?
No.
Dude, Edelman has a penchant for he does Belichick really good, does Brady really good. Yeah, he's just really, like, he does Randy Moss. He's like, Edelnut, don't you ever talk to me when I'm talking to my mama. Like, all kinds of, it's hilarious, bro. But yeah, I love Randy Moss, man. What are you writing? Paul Blart. Oh, Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Paul Blart. Oh, wait, Paul Blart's daddy? Is that what it was?
It was Daddy, yeah. My bad. I thought you were going to write Mall Cop. I've never seen any of those films. Are there several of them?
I think there's two.
Two?
Okay.
They're all right. Like, they're in that same, like, category of, like, Adam Sandler movies where, like,
Oh, well, you know.
they're like a good time.
Exclamation
Jeremy,
point. What?
do you like those movies? You're
I've
picky
never
with
seen
movies, Jeremy. See,
I'm picky with
Jeremy's
my
so
comedy.
Picky with movies, bro.
I am.
Yeah.
Exclamation point, donate if you're looking for the link. You can also scan the QR code here in the bottom left. That'll get you a direct link if you're not scared of scanning QR codes on your phone, which I
Mobile.
understand if you are. It's weird. All right. I get the beat running like Randy Moss.
Yeah, there you go. Randy. Also, the fact that he's from West Virginia. I don't know. His lore is just cool, man. I almost said there's a couple in there, and I love Anquan Bolden, but then he technically was a Lions receiver for a little bit there, and I loved it. But I love Anquan Bolden, bro.
It
That's a
looks like I
dog.
wrote Randy Mass, like a
I like
fat,
it, though.
like a fat Randy Moss.
It's a Catholic Randy Moss.
That's right.
Randy, if you're Catholic and you're watching this, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Okay. We are caught up on alerts. We're caught up on donations. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about before we jump back in? I kind of wanted to put a button on the window talk, and the only thing I was going to say is, like, again, because there's so few needs on this team, you can turn around that offensive line in one off season, and then we're back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, then we're all the way back.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd love it to be, if people want to get comfortable with that first round pick being an offensive tackle, it's probably a good thing to get comfortable with. And then maybe, like Meko said, like a center day 2 or 3, because you can find good value there typically. So, but we'll have to see.
Yeah.
I want to be more involved in the draft this year, just because I think it could be more trench centric, and yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
When does Eric start his
Oh, bro, he's been started.
Ask him. Ask him. I'm sure he was in the chat not too long ago. He's probably listening.
I know he
he's
watches certain college games every week. And what were you going to say, Jeremy?
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit less involved this season than previous seasons because the lines are actually good.
True.
I know he's gotten so big with the draft content that he's put out that he's been able to outsource some of his work. So I'm not sure if he's got people working day and night on his behalf.
Yeah, between the numbers, Anthony, man, that guy's a machine. He does a lot of stuff.
I thought I had something to say, but I don't think I do. Oh, someone
I was
wanted
trying
to
to
talk
think.
about Spitgate, but I don't know. What do you want to say?
Oh,
Like,
Jamar, dude, that makes me sad, bro. He did too, clearly.
he did.
Hey,
And
man,
there's a pretty clear
that should be
precedent.
a
You spit on
Yeah.
someone, you're getting suspended.
Also,
yeah.
why are you
I
spitting?
That's okay. So I think it was Damian Harris on like CBS Sports that was basically saying, asking that question, like, when the hell did that become cool?
Yeah,
Like,
bro, that's the ultimate disrespect.
hey man, take the suspension out, take the ejection out, just let somebody get whooped. Like, 'cause if you
Right?
spit
Yeah,
on somebody, like,
Just
I
and
slap a
spit a
dude in the
dog
face like I'm on
walking.
Raw. You won't get suspended. You just get fined.
no, I really like Jamar Chase. Exactly, I really like Jamar Chase too. Like he's like seems like he's good with the media. He's like the best receiver in football. I know I still put Jay Jettas up there with him, but that was crazy. I was like, no way. Well, I don't know what happened, but we know Jalen Ramsey's an instigator too.
Sure.
But then yeah, then they zoomed in on that picture, and I was like, oh no, that's some spit in the air.
I would
So
say it's just some like to Thomas Hutchinson's point. Like, why lie about it? Like, yeah, I spit on dude.
yeah.
Like, if you were big or bad enough to do it, like, just like, yeah.
No, you can't admit it. If you admit it, that's crazy. But yeah, then also there's too many cameras to your point. It's gonna get
At this
found
point,
out.
though, right, like if that's how you feel, though, in my opinion, like spitting on someone is the equivalent. Actually, it's worse than like swinging on somebody.
Oh
You
yeah.
might as well swing on somebody. Like, if
Yep.
that's how you feel in the moment,
Yeah, don't spit.
just fight because you're getting suspended either way. Like, at least be
Yeah.
like, at least be able to sit at home, and be like, I dog walk, dude. Like,
Spitting is crazy. Yeah, we do. I don't know when that became prevalent.
I don't either.
I don't know. Someone wasn't raised right.
And I like Jamar. See, dang man, Jalen must have been saying some crazy stuff to him. Now I'm advocating for Jamar, but I don't know.
Excuse maker.
Can't
I was
speak.
gonna say,
Victim
I can't-
victim
I can't-
blaming.
I can't excuse spitting. I can't excuse spitting, bro.
No,
Like,
I
there's
can't either.
no-
That's what I'm saying. I was
like, what could somebody say to you? Because anything that you could possibly say to me that I would even think of that could potentially elicit me spitting on you, I'm socking you out first, like well before I spit on you.
I back in the day of I'd be honest with you. If someone spit on someone, I'd be worried about someone going to get something from their car and then it being something else other than a fight. So, spitting is crazy, bro.
It is. We just got two big donations. Jacob donated $100 to the University of Michigan Rogel Cancer
Holy.
Center, and then Meko Egg on his face donated $75 to the University of Michigan Rogel Cancer Center. Unfortunately, that donation is, I said 300. It's actually 400, but it's definitely not $75 to get an egg
Wait,
on
$400 for it to get
for an egg on to get an egg on someone's head.
Yeah, put an egg on your head, Miko.
No, because he only donated 75.
Oh,
If it was 300 because
You know
I
what?
literally
I'll do
said
it for you.
300.
I'll
You'll
do
do
it
it?
for that one. I'll do it for that when I get some eggs because we ain't got no eggs at the house. But like,
Okay. All right. Miko's got one banked for whoever Meko Egg on his face is. That also gets us over $7,000, which means I think I'm going to save it for the end of the pod, but I have to do spin on the wheel of pain now.
Ah.
And it also means we are $3,000 away from our first extreme wheel of pain spin, which involves much grosser things like fart spray and sour pickle balls and gross
Sour
stuff.
pickle
that doesn't
balls.
sound so bad.
What the fart spray, bro?
Dude,
Yeah,
the
what
fart
do you
spray
gotta-
is
like, you just gotta-
terrible.
You just have to
Ugh.
spray it.
In my
Gotta
face.
wear it. Ooh, that could be not good for your health.
No, I've done it before. This is a re-up.
You gotta go take a
I
shower
won't-
right
I-
after.
Yes. I have to take a shower after this. Sometimes I forget that I do this. And then like we end the podcast and it's like 8:30 and like shit, I haven't eaten anything. And then like this has happened twice. I've gone to a drive-through with this still on my head and not realized it. And then like I see them make a weird face at me and I don't register what it is, and then I get home and I look in the mirror, I'm like, "Oh shit."
You left it up there. That's
I left
actually
it up
funny.
there.
You don't be wearing a hat.
Sometimes I do. But like even then, like I'll wear a hat and you still see
Still
it.
gonna
a
show
little bit.
some. Yeah, that's true. You'd see a lot of mine. I got a big old
That's
forehead.
not too bad. But yeah. Anyways. All right. I think we're ready to get back into it. Y'all ready?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm good.
Let's do it.
And welcome back to the Pride of Detroit POD segment 2 here for you guys. And we are going to talk about some of the positives to come out of this Lions loss to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I think one of the things that we have to talk about right off the bat is the defensive performance. I think going into this game, if you told Lions fans, Jeremy, that this Lions defense was going to hold that Eagles offense to 16 points, I think there would have been a little disbelief. And I think a lot of people honestly would have expected the Lions to probably get a W in that situation. But the fact that they lost shouldn't take away from like how outstanding this defense was last night.
Yeah, I've already seen some people try to dismiss it, saying, "Oh, well, the Eagles' offense is going through it right now," and there's, I mean, at least a little bit of truth to that. They certainly haven't gotten the run game going in the way that is quite shocking, to be honest. And the Lions did a good job making sure that was still the case. I think Saquon had like 3-4 a carry or something like that, which is, I believe, even below his low season average this year. So the Lions did a good job bottling him up. But I think the job that they did against Jalen Hurts and that passing offense is getting a little bit underappreciated, because while the Eagles have not like been putting up a ton of yardage, I think Hurts is averaging maybe just under 200 yards a game. He was still averaging like 120 passer rating. Like, he was still efficient. They just weren't throwing the ball a ton. They weren't throwing for 300 yards a game. In this game, his passer rating was 63.8. He was held to his lowest completion percentage of the year, his second lowest yards per attempt this year, his lowest EPA per dropback of the year. This just wasn't just a, hey, this Eagles offense is struggling. This was the Lions made sure they were going to continue to struggle and not find anything. And I think what was maybe the most telling stat that I found of this game was the yards of separation per target that the Eagles had was 2.3 yards of separation per target, which was the lowest rate in football this week. And being able to do that without your two starting corners, being able to do that without your ball hawking safety, that's a hell of a job from that defense. And I would argue a hell of a job from the back seven more so than the front four. And the front four did a great job, and I'm sure we'll talk tush push and things like that. But in terms of, they didn't get a lot of pressure. The Lions had 2 quarterback hits on the entire night, and I think they came on the same play because it was Roy Lopez and Aiden Hutchinson were the only ones to have a quarterback hit, and they shared a sack. So not a lot of pressure, which means you got to cover those guys a long time, which, listen, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, 2 really good receivers, and they were going up against 2 backups, and the Lions held their own for all 4 quarters. And that's the important part, right? Like, there wasn't any lapses, right? I don't think they connected on a deep shot all game.
Yeah, and I think that's, if anyone's discounting that defensive performance, like, I think you're discrediting the fact that, like, Morgan, when it comes down to the NFL, like, there's a reason why any given Sunday is a statement that's commonly said across the NFL, because all it takes is one Sunday for an offense to become explosive. Just because the Eagles have been struggling for most of this year doesn't take from the fact that this is still an offense that features one of the best running backs in the NFL, one of the best wide receiver tandems, a very good tight end in Dallas Goedert, as well as Jalen Hurts, quarterbacking that team. Like, they are always a threat to be explosive. That doesn't, and the fact that they've been struggling doesn't take away from what the Lions were able to do on Sunday night.
No, man, for sure. You could make an argument their skill guys are probably the best in football, top to bottom, right? Like, you talked about the tandem, like especially the way AJ Brown and Devonta Smith complement each other, like from like their styles, like stylistically and everything. And then obviously Saquon. So yeah, it's a potent offense. And yeah, while they haven't put like a full like 4 quarters together much this season, it's still a Super Bowl winning offense. They set a record last year for most points scored in a postseason, which is pretty incredible. So I don't want this to get lost on anybody because, yeah, like Jeremy said, they had Rock Ya-Sin. They uniquely had good matchups for each, though, because Rock is like a big physical corner.
Yep.
And then with Amik being like good with sticking some of these like shiftier guys like a Devonta Smith. So it was cool to see. And if you're getting some of these guys back, like like DJ Reed and Kirby and these guys like Davenport, you're getting reinforcements. it's something to build on as hopefully, the offense figures things out these next 2 months.
Yeah, and I think Jeremy, one thing that you pointed out about the front four kind of like not being able to get enough pressure. I feel like this is similar to I can't remember which game it was. Maybe it was the Vikings game, but we talked about Morgan, you and I were talking about it on Before the Roar, where it was like maybe there was like a schematic thing where they weren't necessarily trying to generate sacks, but more so just keep the offense contained so that you're not allowing Jalen Hurts to break out and get a lot of, scramble yardage and really put this offense into a different gear. Maybe the mindset is just a little different. And if that's the case, Jeremy, that's still an A+ job on keeping this Philly offense vanilla for 4 quarters.
No doubt. And yeah, there definitely was a different game plan that we've seen before, right? Because you saw Lee McNeil playing the big edge, right? You saw them, they wanted their three best defensive tackles out there. And that's going to dip in their pass rush a little bit. Aleem is a good pass rusher, but he's not a great pass rusher from the 4-eye or from the 5 or from the 7 or wherever you put him on the edge. Like that's not his game, but you'll sure as hell take him as a run defender over there. Like he's going to be a great run defender out there. And so it was a different game plan, and I think maybe they did decide to like pull a little from their pass rush and put a little into the to run defense and make sure that they bottle up Jalen Hurts in terms of a scramble. And as a scrambler, I think they did do that as well. We saw Jalen Hurts kind of beat him on a couple of designed QB runs, which is going to happen, but they made sure those weren't like explosive plays. So yeah, I'm not going to harp too much on the pass rush. I do think Aiden needs to step up a little bit, both in terms of his pass rush and his run defense, which I think we can all agree, like some of these crashing inside and not holding the edge, it's not cutting it. But overall, I mean, when you talk about the defensive front, it's impossible not to talk about the short yardage situations and the fact that they were phenomenal in short yardage situations. They stopped, I counted 3 3rd-and-1s and a 4th-and-1 against the Philadelphia freaking Eagles. Like this team that is converting those on like 80-90% rates. I mean, that kept them in the game. That kept them competitive. It damn near gave them an opportunity to win the game when they came up with the 4th down stop in Eagles territory. So, when I say the pass rush was tough, it's very nitpicky because I think it was like an A+ day from the defense overall.
Yeah, and
I would agree.
Jeremy took that's exactly what I was thinking. They went with the big bodies, and you're gonna lose a little bit. Aleem had, I feel like, quite a few pressures, but it just Hurts is tough, especially if you're going with less athletes on your defensive front, because it's going to be even tougher to track him down. Like once he does start extending the play, so that's a lot to ask of those guys. But overall, and I do agree about Hutchinson because there's a few that he stayed disciplined and like surfed and like stayed like, didn't crash down and helped make the play. But then there were too many where he got, way too far down the line of scrimmage and made it easy.
Yeah, I wonder if he's just getting a little antsy, right? I feel like it's been a while since Aiden's had like a dominant performance. He's played well, right? Like to that point, like this
Sure.
defense as a whole has played really well. But I think it has been a few weeks since we've last seen like a dominant Aiden Hutchinson performance where, he's getting 2 or 3 sacks, type of game. So overall, not a whole lot to be concerned about the defense. I think the other thing, Jeremy, that you pointed out was like again one of the few times that I've seen a team stop the tush push multiple times in a game. Like, and I think I don't know if it's a recipe that multiple teams can replicate, but it did seem like Kelvin Shepherd and Dan Campbell were able to cook up something that either was just flat out stopping it or putting a lot of stress on that Eagles offense to where they're causing mistakes and you're immediately just getting them out of that play altogether.
Yeah, who knew the key to stopping the tush push was just Tyleik Williams putting his hand in the neutral zone. No, that was wild. But like DJ Reader, I think is like the biggest key. That dude did not move an inch during any of those 4, whatever 5 tush pushes that were out there. Like he is just a brick wall out there, and it's such a difference maker on a play like that.
Yeah, and I thought they were even doing a good job, Morgan, like over the top with the linebackers again, being able to get like bodies on Jalen Hurts and being able to stop him from being able to surf, which is honestly like the toughest part of the tush push, right? It's like he's able to just lie and kind of squirm over top bodies and technically not be down until he's over the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, like even Nowaski had that good play where he
Yeah.
like, got down there and helped make the stop. Tyleek popped. It's tough because they are so deep, but he had a play just off the top where he got the better of Dickerson, Landon Dickerson, who's a really good player for Philadelphia.
Hmm.
And there's a couple instances. The one that Jeremy talked about where um, with Reader, because he was at the nose at the zero and he went down to a knee
Yep.
and they were just leaning on him, and it was like trying to move a tree stump. That's like what I think of it as, and it was just so funny to see. And they're uniquely, from a personnel standpoint, they're definitely uniquely equipped to deal with some Philadelphia's, the whole tush push deal.
Yeah. Moving over to the offensive side of the football. Again, obviously they did have their struggles, but the Bama boys seem to be doing really well the last couple weeks when it comes down to just offensive performance. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jamison Williams, both having a lot of success. And I guess that's probably like the biggest adjustment, so to say, like with Dan Campbell calling plays, is that they are key parts. Not that Jameer hasn't been, but like JMO specifically is really seeing an uptick in his usage, and that's turning into like easy production, Morgan. So like, what have you seen from both of those players just last night that like really kind of stood out to you?
Well, I was shocked to see that that was Jameer's first 100-yard receiving game. Like that seems like a travesty because look at that. They executed a few screens. Like I know people were down on the screens a few weeks ago, and it's really just about like your personnel and your down and distance. Like they were a little too predictable earlier on with that, but like they mixed it up there against the Eagles, and it was some of their biggest chunk plays. So that
Hmm.
was really encouraging to see. And I think Dan has found kind of a sweet spot for Jamison, getting him to run these in breakers and Jared doing a good job of putting it on the money and not having him break stride because no one erases angles like Jameer and Jamison do. Like you think like, okay, this is going to be a big play. Oh no, they scored. So that's always a good feeling.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when anytime JMO is catching it full speed on a crosser, you know, like there's a chance that's going for six, and probably a pretty darn good chance. Yeah, I think you're starting to finally see that chemistry between Goff and JMO where the ball's pretty much everywhere where it needs to be every time. You know, there was that low pass on a third down or on a fourth down, I think, to JMO that maybe he should have had, maybe he shouldn't have. But it is good to see. I was a little disappointed to see that the ball wasn't spread around as well as I think it probably should have been in this game, right? Like one target for Taswala, zero for Khalif, where they did a good job
Mhm.
getting those guys involved last week. But it is kind of hard to complain too much when you're putting the ball in Jahmyr Gibbs' hands and he is making explosive plays in the passing game, which is something, again, that feels a little bit overdue for him. You know, he only has 334 receiving yards on the season. So he basically has a third of it just in this past game. So, but that was something that they utilized a little bit in that Washington game too. And so I hope they realize the mismatch that is, whether it is in the screen game. I'd like to see even, a little bit more varied stuff. Throw him on some wheels. I think they threw one wheel at him and it was overthrown, but, the angle routes, whatever, like get him out there in space and let him do some of the crazy stuff he did in this game after the catch too.
And to your
Yeah,
point on that
those.
wheel, that was just N'Kobe. That was a great rep from N'Kobe Dean.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, good. That was crazy coverage. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Miko.
No, I was gonna say, like, I think that's the thing that really is again, it should be encouraging to fans when you're seeing those types of plays because that's if we're talking about the Eagles being like this good of a defense, Jahmyr Gibbs made people look silly, like downright like turn on the cartoon track type silly type of stuff in that game. And going over to JMO, I know you guys were talking about the crossing routes. I'm starting to really fall in love with JMO's comeback routes because the spin out of those has gotten people time after time and like no one seems to understand that like if he's running a comeback he's spinning the other way and he's going to create such great separation. So again, a lot of credit to Dan sprinkling in those plays, and that's even knowing that like Amon-Ra St. Brown still led them in targets. Like he still had 12 targets. Obviously didn't come down with enough of them, but I think that's one of the other positives to come out of this game is like those plays were there to be made. And I think you put other defenses in that situation and those probably are made and those probably are converted and you see the Lions look like the offense that we expect them to in that situation.
Yeah. And I mean, putting it all together, the Lions had all these explosive plays on offense. They shut down the Eagles on defense. They were in a position to win this game. In a lot of ways, they outplayed them. Like I know not a lot of people are necessarily going to agree with that because of all the fourth down stops that the Eagles got, and that's a fair point, but the Lions went toe-to-toe with the NFC's top seed, which is something that I just feel like needs to be underscored again while the doom and gloomers are jumping off ship. Like, the Lions put up more yards than most teams do, particularly through the air against this Eagles team. They had the explosive plays. They got into scoring position, and they absolutely throttled the Eagles' offense for all four quarters and were a poor pass interference call away from having an opportunity to win this game on the road in prime time, missing 4 defensive starters, missing 2 offensive starters, facing off against an Eagles team that was healthier than they'd been all season. And they came up short. And they came up short because Jared Goff and Amon-Ra had an off day. They came up short because their fourth down offense had an off day. They're not in this like dire straits, holy crap, how is this team going to figure things out mode. Yes, there are problems with this team, but point to an NFC team that doesn't have issues right now. Like maybe the Rams, maybe the Seahawks. And let's also remind ourselves about this division. What NFC North team did look good on Sunday? The Packers that barely scraped by another terrible opponent? The Bears that got lucky that JJ McCarthy didn't come back and beat them for a second time? And the Vikings, who like have one of the worst quote unquote rookie quarterback performances going this year statistically, plenty of ball game to be had here. And if here's the thing, the Lions still technically hold their fate in their own hands when it comes to the NFC North. If they just win the rest of their division games and then outplay the rest of the division in the non-division games, guess what? They win the division for the 3rd time in a row.
Again, Morgan, I think that's another thing that like fans do need to kind of hold on to when it comes down to the rest of this season is that a lot, like to Jeremy's point, the Lions' destiny is in their own hands. And I think if you're not just being reactionary, sure, I think yes, the Rams game is one that is still like is probably the next one that I would circle is like, hey, that's going to be a tough one, and you're going to need to be at your best to beat the Rams, and maybe Thanksgiving. Right? Like, is the Lions' or offensive line going to be better this time around on Thanksgiving than they were in week 1? If you tell me that you get a better offensive line performance in those 2 games, like I do feel considerably better about the Lions' chances of being able to at least lock up the NFC North by the end of this season.
Yeah, it's all out in front of them. Like I get, especially last year, I think winning 15 games was not a good thing for some of this fan base. Because they're going to lose games, man. Like everyone, everyone is anointing the Packers early. And since they've tied to the Cowboys, lost to the Browns, lost to the Panthers, it's an up and down season. And people are going to say, yes, it's the same. We've addressed this. It's the same. We know there's reoccurring themes to some of these losses, but it's all correctable. It's all out in front of them, like Jeremy just said. Mm-hmm. And I tell you what, man, we focus on the first game, the next game always, that's always the focus. But if they can string together 3 victories here and be 9-4 heading into that showdown with the Rams in Los Angeles, I think people are going to be less doom and gloom. I just got a little bit of a hunch.
Yeah. I mean, it does feel a little bit like that Packers game on Thanksgiving is going to be critical.
Huge.
It's, And I'm not saying they have to win it or they're not going to make the playoffs, or if they win it, they're guaranteed to win the North, but it's a big one. It's a huge one. And because you got the Rams coming out of that, and I'm not assuming the Rams is a loss, but if I had to pick out a loss on the remainder of the schedule, it'd probably be that one. It means, I mean, here's the basic of it. I think the Lions probably have to go 5-2. 4-3 might get them in. That puts them at 10-7. 10-7, given how good I think the top 7 or 8 teams are in the conference, that's borderline. 11-5, I think, gets you in. So you got to go 5-2. Put those 2 losses wherever you want them. Ideally, one of those doesn't come against the division. Ideally, both of them don't come against the division. But you can survive. Like if you lose the Packers and the Rams game, you can still make it. But you just have lost all of your margin for error there.
Yeah, because if you lose to the
Yeah,
Packers,
because
really, you're not going to win the division unless the Packers just completely implode. I guess there's still some sort of statistical probability there if you were to do that. But yeah, I get what I'm with what you're saying. That's kind of what I was doing the math earlier. That's what I was getting with number wise. But what were you going to say, Miko?
well, I was gonna ask the question because I think does how a team lose matter to you guys? Because I think like there are people out there that are struggling with the fact, or at least are hanging their argument about their concerns on this team being due to the fact that they're like not beating contending teams, right? But at the same time, like I don't think there's been many games this season where you're just like, oh, they can't hang. Like the
Right.
Lions are just like
No, there
incapable of matching up with anybody.
there hasn't been a single game like that, right? They've been in each game. Like maybe the Chiefs game was a little bit like it didn't seem like at the end there was much of a shot, but and
Hmm.
obviously that loss doesn't look great as the Chiefs continue to struggle a little bit, but um no, I think if the major concern here is the offensive line to me. It's the one big question here where they haven't yet put some of the early concerns behind them for good. And and I think people fairly point out that the offense is only going to go far as the offensive line takes them. And so they're going to have to prove that they can withstand some of these better defensive lines, and they're going to get tested down the stretch, right? They're even next week against the Giants. They've got a good defensive front. Even, especially against the Rams, they've got a really good defensive front. They're going to have to face that Vikings defensive front again that gave them trouble. And we've seen the Packers
Hmm.
defensive front also give them trouble. So like they need to show some sort of growth there. They need to show some sort of hope for the Lions that when it comes to playoff time and they got to string together 2, 3, 4 wins, that when they face off against a good defensive front, which they are undoubtedly going to do at some point in the playoffs if they get there, they can withstand that. And they haven't proven that yet.
Yeah. I think there's been enough proof in the pudding, Morgan, over the last couple of years that a Dan Campbell led team like will make those adjustments down the stretch. And I can't remember where it was said, but I feel like we all, for the most part, and when I say we, I mean part of Detroit staff, kind of felt like going into the season, like, hey, regardless of what the record is, regardless of getting the number one seed or whatever the case may be, we just want to make sure the Lions are playing their best football come January.
Right.
Like, as long as they're in the dance and they're playing their best football there, like, great, we've won the division 2 years in a row. We've gotten the number one seed. Awesome. I think we've pretty much proven like all of that means nothing if you don't win come playoff time.
Yep, you still end up with a sour, taste in your mouth or a pit in your stomach, however you want to phrase it. Because that's what the last 2 years, the NFC Championship game and then that divisional round, that was a terrible feeling. So Dan's kind of said that from the jump, and I feel like there's been like a little bit of a shift, and because I feel like last year the whole push was that one seed. We need
Yep.
that one seed, and they got it.
Hmm.
And then Jeremy had those statistics that he did for Proud of Detroit Direct that like had me in like a wormhole for like a day,
Right. Where like
an
one
entire
seeds are just
day.
weirdly terrible
Terrible. I'm
in
like,
the
so why
playoffs.
why does everyone freak out about this? So
Right.
then when those you retweeted that Sumer Sports study about like how the Lions like have a big old chunk for the 3 seed, and I was like, that sounds kind of sweet right there, the three
Right.
seed. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think it's all right there, man. Dan Campbell's, I mean, he said that to your point too, Mika. He's like, we'll get it fixed, and it's his normal confident self with his hoarse voice, but I don't know. I trust him, man. I've just it's been too long, and I just don't really doubt Dan at the end of the day and this
Right.
coaching staff. So I feel like they're going to figure it out. And I'm just so excited about this defense right now. And that's kind of cool how that we're saying it's November 17th and we've gushed about the defense for like 2 hours now for the most
Right.
part. So pretty
And
exciting.
the other thing too is I think back to the 2023 season where it was right around this time where they lost to the Packers on Thanksgiving. They had that inexcusable loss to Chicago. And then all of a sudden, the switch flipped in December and they made that NFC Championship run, right? Time and time again, Dan has taken this team out of what seems like pits of despair and turned things around. It's why we constantly talk after a loss that they haven't lost 2 in a row since 2022. It's why the Lions were able to withstand an 0-10-1 start and finish the season 3-3 in year one. It's why when they started 1-6 the next year, they rattled off a 9-8 record. They get stuff fixed in the second half of the season. They do. It's been a constant every single season, and I don't know why people just assume it's not going to happen this year.
Yeah, I think it's the curse of success in a way, right? Not to be pessimistic and not to say that Lions fans don't know how to handle success, but in reality, I think we all do have such high standards for this team. And I think a lot of the concerns that people have are legitimate. If you're concerned about how the offense has performed, you should be. They have not lived up to their standard through the first, what is it? 11 weeks, 10 weeks, 10 weeks of the season. No, they have not lived up to their expectation. However, that does not discount where they have looked good, and it doesn't discount specifically how great this defense has looked for the first 10 weeks of the season despite injuries. And I think there is a bit of a shift that this team is probably going to have to make. And I trust Dan, again, going back to what you're saying, Jeremy, I trust Dan to make that adjustment. He's already made one crucial adjustment that is hard for most head coaches to make, which is I am going to take play calling away from my offensive coordinator because I have a vision that I feel like I can execute better in this scenario. I don't know when it'll probably set in, and it probably just takes us getting there, right? I obviously you got to take care of the Giants this week, and you're gonna have to play better on Thanksgiving against Green Bay. I think if fans see a better performance on Thanksgiving night or afternoon, that will do a
Huge game.
big swing, I think, for this fan base in terms of resetting what our expectations are. But it goes back to what you were saying as well, Morgan. Teams lose sometimes, and it's not great. It's not what you want. Very few teams. I think there's a reason why only 2 teams have ever gone undefeated in the regular season in the NFL. It's hard as hell to do.
Yeah, man, the NFL's built on parity, and it's even I feel like it's even more so this year. Could be recency bias, but I'm not sure. So yeah, it's just like you said at the beginning when we talked about, opened up this segment, Miko. I want to be hitting our stride here like Christmas, New Year's, and then it's only up from there, hopefully. That's the end goal, and that has to be because that's what everyone wants, right? Like everyone's like, oh, it doesn't matter about the regular season, which I still push back a little bit about. Like winning games isn't fun, winning a bunch of games. So I don't know. But yeah, I know everyone wants to win a Super Bowl, so right there with you.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Any other talking points from this game? I'm not going to complain about defensive pass interference because I just don't want to anymore.
Right. Nah. Bury the offensive film. Put it right there by the 2022 Eagles game, whatever the defensive film. Put them both in the same spot. Turn the calendar here and let's beat up on the Giants.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, with all that said, that's pretty much going to do it for this week's episode of the POD cast. Like always, if you were looking for any more additional Lions news, you can always head over to PrideOfDetroit.com. We have new articles being put up over there every day of the week, multiple times throughout the week. Also, if you are looking to support our Movember charity drive, you can do that by heading over to Pride of Detroit as well, or you can tune into any of our live streams that are going on. Jeremy and Ryan have even been doing live streams of First Bite, which gives you another opportunity to, one, check out First Bite if you've missed it, but also gives you an opportunity to have another chance to donate or to see Jeremy do or eat weird things on stream. So that's always a good time. So with all that said, I'm Meko. He's Jeremy. He's Morgan. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch and listen, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
All right. We did it.
Recording stopped.
We got a lot of things to take care of now because we got in a $250 donation from Meko Egg on his face. Says B from Detroit wants Meko to smash an egg on his face. So Meko said he doesn't have eggs in the house. So we'll have to do it
buy
next stream
today too.
Were you really?
Yeah.
But we will do it presumably next stream. Can you set aside one egg until then?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Play the clip. What clip? Cruz also donated $50. Says write your fast food order on your forehead, presumably during the Madden Sim. Deal. Cruz, you might have to remind me, but I will definitely do that. Just another reason you guys should join us on Saturdays for the Madden Sim. Those are always very fun and
I tune in sometimes.
Oh, we did get.
Speaking of fast food,
yeah. You want the Romo soundbite again for the $250 donation?
What's the Romo soundbite?
Oh, you haven't heard that?
Pull up the stream. Pull up the stream on your phone or something.
Oh, why is it crazy?
It's hard to even explain. Let me know when you got it up, and I'll replay the alert that we get for any donation of $250 or more.
It's Romo, so I'm a little concerned. All right, here, I'm about to mute myself and put it on.
All right, here we go.
It's about to go. Hold on.
It's so ridiculous.
Bro, when did he do that?
I don't know. He was like watching a replay. I don't remember the full context of it. And he was like reacting to like something that I think it was, he wasn't sure if something was a penalty or not. So he was just like, ugh.
That's too animated, man. Someone's going to play that on their phone and get in trouble at work.
Bro, I think he was like mid-sentence explaining something too. And then he was like,
Too much energy. He's funny. I don't mind Romo as much as other people do.
I hate that man with a passion.
Do you really?
See?
Bro. I get so pissed when I turn on a CBS game and I'm like, oh, I really want to watch this game. And the minute I hear his voice, I'm like, this is going to be insufferable.
See, I'm like that with Collinsworth. I was so sick of his stuff last night. And then he's like talking and talking about PFF, and I'm like, oh, bro, I'm so sick of your old self, bro.
Bro, you know who else is getting there for me?
Al Michaels.
Brady.
Oh, I don't know. He's so weird.
He's getting too comfortable. Like last year, like you could tell he was like new to the job, and he's like, I just want to be professional. I just want to yada yada yada. And it's like, nah, bro, you're getting like Tony Romo comfortable, and I don't like it.
I liked Greg Olson. I was sad. We get less Greg Olson now because of Brady's weird self.
Yeah.
I think Olsen give Olsen all of Vilma's job. Give him all of Vilma's.
Crazy. What were you going to say, Jeremy?
No, I was just going to say I think Greg Olsen is kind of like the almost unanimous like favorite.
People like him.
At least among the non-primetime guys. Although I don't know how many people like any of the primetime games at this point. Like, seems like Al Michaels is.
Dude, he doesn't give a shit.
I don't know what he's doing.
You can tell.
I don't mind Herb Street with him. Like Herb Street's fine.
Yeah. Al Michaels does not care though.
Yeah.
What do people think?
Rico.
I like Tirico.
Trico's fine. Yeah,
I don't hate Collinsworth. He's a little overboard sometimes, but I don't hate
Collinsworth. Just last night, like he was like, real JMO's immature. I'd be like, I'm gonna slap. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. I thought that was there was some of that. There was something else that bothered me last night too, but I'm probably trying to flush it from my brain.
Yeah.
What do we think of Buck? Are we past like the initial like hatred of Buck Aikman to realize that they're actually kind of okay. The only thing I don't
they're
like is
fine.
like Aikman is just like he hates every fourth down attempt. That's my only beef is like Aikman is so old school when it comes to I don't know why like someone explain this to me why they're going for it on because it's 4th and 1 from the goal line. Like what are you talking
People
about?
aren't throwing 24 touchdowns in a year like you are, goofball. You
Yeah,
know?
I will say,
So,
like that's how bad I think most of the of the commentators have become is that you look at Buck and Aikman, you're just like, you know what?
you're not
Not so
bad.
bad.
Exactly.
You're not bad.
Buck's
I
a
know.
lot better now that Rodgers is gone because he used to be insufferable during Rodgers games. Like I wanted to
Yeah.
blow
Well,
my brains out, bro.
and I think that's what makes Collinsworth so bad is that like the young people say, bro is like like is like a relentless glazer of
Oh, for
anybody of
sure.
like anything that's remotely good.
Uh,
Oh, brother, he's about to get down on both knees and make sure you know.
now here's a guy.
But honestly, there's part of me that likes someone who just like gets so energized about the game.
No,
Yeah.
and that's fine. But like I personally believe Collinsworth is the reason why people hate Patrick Mahomes the way they do.
I don't. You're onto
Well,
something there, 100%.
Yeah. Also, just don't like Patrick Mahomes, bro. Like I was watching
Yes.
this game yesterday, and he did not clearly get hit in the head, and he was like,
Oh yeah, I saw
I
that.
was like, God, you have no shame, do you, ketchup eating weirdo? Ketchup on your steak, weirdo. Oh, bro, yeah, I hate that.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you don't know about that?
Yep.
Dipping his
Hey.
ribeye in steak, cousin. Yeah, he does it. Nasty. Are you surprised though? You see what his wife said that one time? She was like,
Fried
they were doing
chicken.
that. Yeah, I was like, no way she said it like that. No way. I thought that was crazy, bro. And he was like, no, what did he say? He's like, Mexican in his weird little voice.
How fast
I
the
don't even know
no
what we're
came was
talking
the
about.
part that was. Oh man,
You haven't seen- Oh.
him and his wife were doing like some sort of media thing, and they were like, the question was, what is Patrick's favorite food? And without hesitation, Jeremy, she went fried chicken
She
with
said
a
it like that.
southern twang,
Oh
Said it like
no.
Yes, she did.
and he was like, no,
It's Mexican. How I can't do his voice. It's Mexican. I don't know.
bro, it was.
It was crazy though. I was like,
Bro, that'd have been a fight. That's a fight on the way home. Like, why
Bro.
the hell?
there's so
Yikes.
many funny memes on the internet that day. Oh boy, that was one of them
wild.
days.
We did. Go ahead.
No, go. You go.
I was gonna say we had a list cast request to rank our top pudding flavors.
Pudding. Okay.
Which-
Banana first.
I can't even remember the last time I've had pudding.
What? You
I've
ever had
never-
banana pudding
I've had it, but like
with the cookies and stuff on it?
yeah, like
Wait, yeah,
like some vanilla wafers and stuff.
No, they're not Nilla
Yeah.
wafers. They're like something else. They're like
What do you mean?
chestnut.
No, they like
The
I
Nilla
mean, like, the
wafers ones are
standard-
good too.
Yeah, I was like the standard
Okay.
is Nilla wafers.
Nah, I'm
But
getting
yes,
hungry.
if you get some good banana pudding, they use the fancy crackers. or the fancy
Exactly. There's this peach cobbler factory downtown.
cookies. Ooh,
Yeah, I'm putting hurting on that thing, man.
listen here. I do some OnlyFans related things for some peach cobbler.
Oh, whoa.
Me too. Me too.
Meko,
My
I know,
wife's
I know
trying
you're
to-
into social media. I didn't know you were that into social media.
It's on
That's
his
how
link
into
tree.
peach cobbler I am.
I do love peach cobbler. I wonder what we're having for. I'll do this list cast, and then I probably got to go see the girls. So
Yeah,
my
we'll
wife
hop
doesn't
off here
kill me.
too because Monday Night Football's underway too. So I imagine most people are jumping off here. So I don't have strong opinions on puddings. I don't think I've even. A lot of people are saying pistachio. I don't think I've ever had pistachio pudding.
I'm not opposed. Yeah, it's banana pudding, vanilla pudding. I like bread pudding.
That
You
count?
know,
I guess that
maybe
counts.
it's
It literally
pudding.
has
Yeah.
pudding in it.
Yeah.
Is
yours banana too?
I would go. Banana's one. Banana pudding is by far the
Elite.
best.
S tier.
Uh,
I'm hungry.
then I would go key lime. If I had like a good key lime pudding.
Oh,
See,
I
I've
was
never
like,
had that
bro,
either.
I would eat that because I love key lime pie,
I do too.
lemon meringue pie. I'm just a big pie and pudding guy. Like all of them.
I love pie.
Cheesecake pudding is good.
Cheesecake
That's basically-
pudding.
Ooh.
Yeah, like I just go to Kroger and they have like the Jello
Little
pudding
Jell-O
packets
pack,
and they have
yeah.
a cheese and they have
Oh,
the
is
cheesecake
cheesecake
flavor.
flavored? Oh,
You know
shoot.
what I've been
Okay.
doing a little bit? Greek yogurt, cheesecake pudding mix. Mix
Yeah.
that together. You get
Oh,
yourself some
yeah.
protein in there.
Is it like
you a
just pudding, or is it like
It's kind of
It's
pudding.
just
It's
pudding.
it's pudding adjacent.
it's pudding
Yeah.
adjacent? I don't know if I like that adjacent placement, but I'll try it.
It definitely tastes healthier than regular pudding.
Right.
Like you're gonna get that Greek yogurt
Yeah.
taste in
Like
there, but as long,
maybe squirt a little honey in there if it's not sweet enough for you.
I love honey, just period, bro. I just get a little spoonful. I'm hungry right
so
now.
yeah, I got banana, key lime, cheesecake, and then chocolate would probably have to be 4.
I'm
Like, who
Yeah.
hates chocolate pudding?
Banana
Especially
vanilla
like the-
chocolate. Banana vanilla chocolate if I'm gonna do my top 3.
yeah. I'll just like I feel like I've only had vanilla chocolate and banana, and I'd probably go chocolate, banana, vanilla.
Now
people-
I know tapioca has like a reputation out there for being top tier pudding, but like
Wait,
I've never had it.
I forgot about tapioca. I'd like to put tapioca at 2 now, I think.
Oh wow, big tapioca.
Tapioca
guy.
pudding's really good, bro. Yeah. I don't know what them little things are, but I like them.
Tapioca.
What is what is
I have no idea. I have no idea.
It's like boba,
Well,
boba tea.
it's like
I don't know what them
milk.
boba
It
things
almost
are
feels
either.
like a milk curd or something.
It's like milk candy. It's curd. It's not curd, bro, is it?
I don't know.
When I was little, I used to think it was fish eggs, but that doesn't really make much sense.
Is a starch extracted from the cassava root?
I wouldn't have known.
Doesn't really help.
This is like my hornets and bees.
It's my hornets and bees. How dare you? How dare you, sir?
That was just so funny because I love to get you and Eric when I can about the like. Did you guys go to Michigan? I can't do it often because you guys are both really smart. But when I can, Eric always thinks that's really funny.
I say dumb stuff all the time, and I think that's just the consequence of talking for 3 hours 2 or 3 times a week. Is like
True.
I'm naturally going to say something stupid on here.
That's fair. More chances.
Yeah.
That's something I wish I could communicate to people whenever they comment and they're like, you guys say like too much or you guys say right
Yeah.
too much. And it's like, do you
Um,
realize how hard it is to talk for 2 hours and not
Yeah.
use filler words?
Any sort of phrase. Like one time I said, you know what I'm saying twice or something in a podcast, and they're like, you know what I'm saying? I saw someone said first and foremost because you say that once in a while, and I'm like, all right, bro, you guys obviously don't know what
Listen,
Everyone has their little ticks.
We're always trying to get better. We're always
Yeah.
trying to, maybe stop saying like, maybe stop saying, I just said, I probably say that a lot. But,
Yep.
I mean, watch a Dan Campbell press conference. Watch a Jared Goff press conference. They all have their little ticks. Eric,
Dan started today.
you definitely take a bunch of deep sighs, Eric, 100%.
Yeah, because Eric thinks before, and I appreciate because I try to do that sometimes, but Eric, you can tell he'll like big exasperate. It'll like
You ask him a tough question or you have him talk about a game that like happened on Sunday.
here's the thing.
But that's the thing that I wish people understood. Like, as someone who went to school for radio, that is like the hardest thing to do is to talk for a considerable amount of time,
Yep.
not use filler words, and still try and stay on topic, or still try to like keep a transition,
Yep.
or try to listen to other people who are talking.
What do we look like, Barack Obama? Come on.
I've tried to do like to me the one thing I've tried to do a better job of is just pausing. If I don't have the words, instead of doing or like or whatever, just let it like I'm doing it right. I just said like, but just having that moment of silence and realizing it's not the end of the world. People can. It's not a dead air thing that people. Who does a really good job of it on the radio is Jim Rome. I don't love Jim Rome. But
He's a pro.
He has kind of like these pregnant pauses in between each statement, and it actually feels like it gives it more power.
Cowturd does
Yeah.
that too.
Mm.
Don't
I
like
will say
him
it's
either,
easier. I will say it's easier when you're talking by yourself.
Oh yeah. Well,
Like,
sort of. For me, like I talk too fast when I'm by myself.
but
when I
Jeremy
had-
have a 22-minute podcast.
I say that because when I was doing my own like YouTube channel and podcast, like it was so much
Yeah,
easier for me to just stay focused on me
sure.
because I didn't have to worry about if I take too long of a pause, does Morgan interpret that as like, oh, I need to jump in?
Right.
So I could pause
Yeah,
and
that's a fair point.
continue a thought.
That's smart.
I feel like I know me and you have enough rapport where I know where you want me to talk typically when it's just me and you. So, but yeah, I see what you mean though, for
Yeah.
sure.
All right. I need to spin on the wheel of pain. If you need to get out of here, Morgan, before I do, you can.
I'll go
Either of
watch
you
you.
can. You want to watch?
I'm pretty sure Sarah has it on downstairs, so I'm gonna go
Okay.
eat and hold my daughter and watch you do. What is this one? You got to eat one of the weird jelly beans or whatever, probably.
I either have to eat Vegemite, mustard, a Bean Boozled, or do 10 up downs, or do push-ups until I can't do push-ups anymore.
I had to ask Sarah the other night because we were watching one. I don't know what Vegemite is.
It's gross. It's like an
She said it's
Australian
salty.
spread. It's yeasty and salty. It's gross. It's probably
Yeasty?
yeah. It's the grossest thing on this thing.
Oh no,
And
dog.
it's
Is
like
that the color
dark
of it?
brown. It's dark
Oh,
brown.
no. Nope, that's a no from me. I
And
hope you
that's the
don't
one
get
that he's
that.
had last year. That's the one he's had from last year.
It's true. It
Well, I'm gonna
did
go-
expire in January.
Oh,
Best
Jeremy.
before. Best before. Not technically expired, but best before.
Jeremy, January 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting to be almost a year expired, my brother.
I'm aware.
No, Vegemite doesn't expire. We Googled it.
The literal first ingredient is yeast extract.
How do you extract the? You know what? That's too much for me. I hope you don't have to. I hope you get Bean Boozled. I always like watching you eat those.
Thank you. People
So-
enjoy it because they can gamble channel points on it too. So
Oh yeah, I forgot. Right.
Oh yeah, I do need more of those.
I just laugh because it makes me think of Harry Potter. But appreciate you guys.
thanks for stopping by. Thanks for filling
Yep.
in today, buddy.
Of course, guys. Talk to you soon.
See you,
Have a good
bud.
night.
Later, man.
You're gonna be Eric Schlitt for now.
That's fine.
Can I put your name up there?
I could be worse people.
It's gonna be too much of a hassle to change names here. All right. Let's just
Eric
spin
gets
it.
to be black for a day.
I know he's always wanted to.
Who hasn't?
All right, here we go. We're just gonna spin it. Here we go. We spoke it into existence.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna go get a spoon and something to drink. Son of a God.
Oh man. The only reason it brings me joy, guys, is because Ryan and I keep getting our punishments racked up, and I don't think Jeremy's had any additional outside of like the first game. So this is like the only punishment that he has to endure.
This is the worst one. It's not fair that this is like the fourth time out of 7 that this has come up.
Did you add any burpees to your to-do list after this past game?
Oh God, yeah. I checked this right before I went live because I'm like, did any punts get down inside the 20? Turns out 2 of them did. Plus Bates had a 54-yarder, so I got 3 added
So you have
this
3.
week. So I'm up to
Okay.
5.
All right, well then I won't enjoy you eating Vegemite as much this time.
Yeah, I'm up to 5 sets of 10 up downs. So I'm going to die at the end of the month. And I guess
I might
guess
as well for a different reason. Wait, I don't actually have to like physically run. Like I can like stop and walk these miles, right?
Yeah.
Because like that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine. There's
That
all the
looks-
Vegemite. Like that is a full spoon's worth of Vegemite. Well, chat, thank you for we're almost at $7,500, 10% of the way to our final goal. I know we're already halfway through the month, but I know you guys are saving. I know morale's a little down too, and obviously economic times are what they are, but no matter how much we raise this month, like even 7,500 is a difference making amount for someone out there. So I really do appreciate everyone who's donated so far, everyone who will donate in the future. Here we go.
Is the fact that it's smooth make it better or worse? Like, do you wish it had like a texture to it?
Yeah, I do actually. Because this just spreads around the entire mouth. It's just like in every crevice of the mouth now. It's so
Yeah,
gross.
that's the part. That's the part that freaks me out. Once you like, every time you show the spoon, I'm like, I don't like how smooth it is. I don't like.
It's just one of the most unpleasant things. And I swear it made my pee smell like Vegemite one time.
I'm sure that's one of those things that like seeps into your pores if you have too much of it.
It's, oh God, I hope not. Add it to your soup, you'll love it? No.
Oh.
You guys are realizing, like, now I am conditioned that anything that even has, like, a dab of this thing is going to make me hate it. It doesn't, why is it not closing all the way? There we go.
No, I've never tried Vegemite and I won't. Like I will do a number of food challenges on this channel if they ever like are offered. I just can't eat gross things. Like it's not gonna stay down. It just won't.
Oh, it's not easy. I feel like I've gained a bit of a tolerance for nasty, which is weird because I actually think I have a pretty terrible gag reflex in general. But like I'm trying to think of anything that I don't think I'd be able to do. And last year we had that like disgusting fish thing on the list. Yeah. We didn't end up hitting it, but like I think that's probably because people were throwing up just at the smell of that thing on YouTube. Like I watched some YouTube videos of it. And I'm like, I'm kind of glad we never got there. That's why I didn't
and that's
even
what would get
it
me
up on the list.
Yeah, that's what would get me is like if something smells bad, I know I'm not gonna be able to keep it down.
Yeah,
I could do Bean Boozled. Like I could probably eat a couple of those. Like that's fine because like as gross as those are, like it doesn't last forever. And I would not smell any of them. But like if I smell it, I can't eat it.
Yeah,
like
I did throw away the pig's feet. For those wondering, we're not.
Oh, thank God.
The pickled pig's feet are not coming back out. I ultimately decided that was a legitimate health threat.
I will smash the egg on the next stream that I'm on.
So next Monday.
Yeah, next Monday.
But don't let us forget, Brandon. It was you, right? I think it was.
Also, Brandon, do we have beef or is this just like I just want to make sure like we're good because like I find that it was like I do find the fact that I was specifically targeted for this egg.
All right. I think it's time to get out of here, though. Again, thank you to everybody for hanging around. Hopefully, we made you feel at least a little bit better or distracted you from the pain for 2.5 hours here. Thank you to everybody who donated. Thank you to all the resubs. Again, I do, if you are paying for a subscription over on Twitch or YouTube, I would ask, and you don't have to listen to me, I would ask that you redirect those to our Movember campaign instead. We don't need the money this month. But either way, we do appreciate the support, whether it is a sub or a donation or you guys just being here. Very much appreciate your patronage, as I've mentioned several times. The more people that are here, the more visible it is to people who have not found us yet. And the more people that are new to our channel raises our chances of raising more money. And that's what this month is all about. So, midweek mailbag tomorrow afternoon is what we're aiming for, like maybe 11 o'clock ish. The Lions altered their schedule a little bit, so first bite is going to have to be on Thursday night. I don't have that scheduled yet, but we'll record it on Thursday night. It'll be up for PODD subscribers on Friday. If you don't catch us live, then Bantam on Saturday, per usual. When do we got Before the Roar coming?
Before the Roar should be, we'll record on Wednesday, so it should be out Thursday, like normal.
Perfect.
So
Sweet. No, I don't think we're gonna get Mike Valeni as a guest. I know he's an Eagles or a Giants fan. I've never met the man, never seen him in person, and that's all I'll say about that.
yeah.
All right.
I don't think we're his cup of tea either.
Probably.
To be fair.
Yeah, that's probably true. All right. We're going to get out of here. I'm going to go wash my head before I forget that it's written on my face or put my head on a pillow and smear Sharpie all over it. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out, and we'll see you tomorrow.